It's the 33rd installment of this Massachusetts State College rivalry, and while UMass Boston and Bridgewater State have both fallen in hard times late in 2016 and early into 2017, both teams are looking to kickstart their season here tonight at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you the action. UMass Boston looking to snap a 2-game slide. Bridgewater State looking to snap a 5-game losing streak in which they've been outscored by nearly 20 points per game. One team is going to get back into the win column tonight before both teams return to conference play on Saturday. We'll take a quick commercial break and be back with our pregame right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Excellent Honors College.
Because here I get to interact with professors one-on-one.
Because I'm not going to be crazy in debt when I graduate.
Because at UMass Boston, I've met professors who have changed my life.
My first choice.
My first choice.
My first choice.
My first choice.
Make the University of Massachusetts Boston your first choice. Visit umb.edu/first choice.
UMass Boston is looking for their 4th straight win over the Bridgewater State Bears. It's the Beacons coming off a big win a year ago, 84-80 in overtime, their 6th straight win. Tonight, the Beacons look for their 6th overall win of the season, and a big contributor thus far has been Chantel Jordan, the senior out of Brockton, Massachusetts, who comes in with career averages of less than 5 points per game, shooting less than 20% from the three-point line, has been phenomenal here in her senior year. Leads the team with just under 13 points per game, leads the entire conference, shooting nearly 47% from behind the arc. She had a huge game against Brandeis coming off the bench on Tuesday in a big loss, scoring 17 points, including 14 in the fourth quarter of that non-conference contest. The Beacons hoping that Jordan can come up big once again in this one. Looking at the all-time series, it is Bridgewater State who holds the all-time lead, 24-8, but UMass Boston has been dominant as of late. 3 consecutive wins. The 2 prior to last year's, both big-time blowout wins. The Beacons nearly outscoring Bridgewater State by 20 points per game over the past 3. We'll bring you the highlights of the last time these two teams met in Boston, when UMass Boston defeated Bridgewater State 64-37 2 years ago here at the Clark.
Away, a center from Charlton, Massachusetts for the Bears. Beacons control of Wilson. Open corner 3 Max. And the shoot Stevens Edwards. High low. 49 wins for Rose State. We get to 2-2 in Little East play.
Welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you all the action of this intrastate rivalry as UMass Boston looking for their first win of 2017. Bridgewater State aiming to snap a 5-game losing streak in which they've played a lot of tough teams. 3 teams out of the NESCAC, team out of the NUMAC, and Oberlin College in their last time out. But they have really struggled, losing most of those games by 20 or more points. Right now, we'll take a look at the team stats. UMass Boston scoring at a much higher clip than Bridgewater State, but Bridgewater State doing a bit better job defensively. One place that Bridgewater State really struggles, and it doesn't show up right there, is the free throw line. This team has struggled to get to the free throw line, much less making their free throws. On the season, Bridgewater State, out of 434 teams in Division III, they rank 425th in made free throws, 419th in attempts, and 399th in free throw percentage. Rebounding has also been a big struggle. You see that minus 15.8 rebounding margin. They're 434th out of 434 teams in rebounds per game at 26.7. They also grab just 7 offensive rebounds per game. Also, coincidentally, last in the country. They do a good job, though, of limiting the turnovers and the fouls, two things that the Beacons have struggled at on the other side. Right now, we'll look at the team leaders for these two sides. We mentioned Chantel Jordan, the other player who's been good offensively, Raven Kelsey. Kelsey, the only player in the conference who is averaging a double-double, 12.5 points, 10.2 rebounds. She leads the Beacons in free throw percentage and field goal percentage. Tajay Burst, in the Beacons senior point guard out of Springfield, leads the entire Little East Conference in assists per game. The other side, this Bridgewater State team, not a lot of standouts. They have a lot of players who have contributed this year, though. 11 different players have started at least one game. The two names to watch normally for Bridgewater State would be Chanel Melton, the senior out of Brockton, Massachusetts, who unfortunately suffered an injury in the first game of the season. A big reason why this team has struggled. The other player, Jenny Lindland, the other all-conference returnee, a first-team all-MASCAC player as a junior, averaging 12.5 points and 5.9 rebounds. Her senior season has not been as successful, just 5 points per game and 1.9 rebounds per game. She did have 11 points against Trinity College during this losing streak. We'll move along and look at the coaches matchup in this one. Bridget Casey on the Bridgewater State side is in her 20th overall season. Casey led Bridgewater State to 6 NCAA tournaments throughout her career, closing in on her 300th career win. She's the program's winningest coach all time. Now we'll take a look at UMass Boston head coach Christina Baugh's accomplishments. Baugh, in her second season at UMass Boston, spent her previous 3 at Division I Central Connecticut State. As you see Casey and Baugh on the left and right in your picture right there. Baugh also was the head coach of the Carolina Cheetahs of the Men's American Basketball Association back in 2011 and 12, looking for her 3rd winning season as a head coach in 3 overall years. Take a commercial break, bring you the starters for both sides and our keys to the game. So we're closing in on the opening tip here at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Welcome back to Boston, Massachusetts. Just about 4 minutes away from the opening tip. Right now we'll look at the keys to the game in this one. Assert yourself on the glass. UMass Boston hasn't been tremendous this year on the glass without Olivia Murphy, who was a walking double-double machine. The senior last year had 28 points and 15 rebounds against this Bridgewater State in that 84-80 overtime win. Today she'll be watching from the scorer's table, where she'll be working the shot clock. But the Beacons still have a lot of big-time rebounders. Katrina Edwards in that game a year ago had a double-double with 16 boards. Get out to faster starts. This Beacons team against Brandeis outscored in the first quarter. In fact, they were down 10-2 at one point. They cut it to a 15-12 game at the end of one, but then in the second quarter outscored 27-6, including a 22-0 run. They just have not been good enough out of the gate and in the first half overall. and establish a presence inside. This is a very small Bridgewater State team. Jesse Lindland, the only player who stands at 5'10 or taller. The Beacons have a couple of true 6-footers they need to establish early on. Look for Michaela Illabodi, the sophomore out of Malden, Mass, to have a big game in this one. She made a rare start against Brandeis, and the Beacons looking to get her more involved with Maritza Scott and Grace Geary out of the lineup. The Beacons have had to go a bit bigger with two of their better guards not available. Right now we'll take a look at one of our Frozen Fenway promos. A week from today, the men's hockey team will take on Babson College at Fenway Park, 7:30 start, and then we'll bring you the starters as we had to wait a little bit on the Bridgewater State side.
Everyone has an origin story. The place where you're born that stays in your blood and shapes who you are.
From Swedish Elite League, Victor Hedman.
Until the day comes when you're called somewhere new to try and make your mark. Little by little, the people become your people. Their hopes, your responsibility. You offer them everything, and in return, that's what they give you back. Together, you work to build something as permanent as the city itself, a symbol for all it means to live there. Until finally, if you're lucky, they consider you a native son. And that's when you realize a person can be from two places at once.
Right now, we'll bring you the Bridgewater State University starters, 3-8 on the season, no conference games yet. So head coach Bridget Casey still has a chance to turn it around and turn it around quickly. Chelsea Saucier gets the start, the senior guard out of Portland, Maine. She's averaging 4.9 points, 2.7 rebounds, leads the team at just under 3 assists per game. Jenny Lindland, we talked about her earlier on in our pregame. Senior out of Edgartown, Massachusetts, down on Martha's Vineyard. First team all-conference as a junior this season, just playing under 20 minutes per game. This is only her 6th start in 11 appearances, 5 points, 1.9 rebounds, is shooting 42.9%. Sarah De Silva, the sophomore guard out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts, 9.6 points per game, tops on the team, but not doing a ton else. She's averaging less than 3 rebounds, assists, and steals per contest. She had just 3 points against Oberlin the other night. Rihanna Page, one of the captains on this team, 9.5 points per game, good for second on the team, leads the team in rebounds and third in assists. And finally, Stephanie DeSantis, one of the other captains, a senior out of Walpole, Massachusetts, 6.4 points, 4.7 rebounds. And she is shooting 59.1% from the free throw line, second on the team in total attempts. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll bring you the Beacon starters after the national anthem.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university that keeps its soul.
Take a look right now at UMass Boston starters. The Beacons going back to their normal starting 5. It starts with Tajay Burston, tops in the conference with her 4.5 assists per game. She's also averaging career highs in points, 6.3, assist to turnover ratio at 1.6, and rebounds and steals. Not shooting as well as she would like, just under 27%, but she has had double-digit points twice this year, including 14 against Clark just before New Year's. Chantel Jordan will play at the shooting guard position, leads the team with 12.8 rebounds per game, the conference with her 46.8% three-point shooting mark. Katie Matthews, the glue player for the Beacons, the junior out of Coventry, Connecticut. She's having a career year as well. Her sixth start on the season, averaging just under 30 minutes per game. She's fifth in points, second in assists, fourth in rebounds, and she's shooting just under 40% on the season. Katrina Edwards will play down low. Edwards, the senior forward out of Springfield, Massachusetts, making her 12th start, 8.4 points, 6.5 rebounds per game, shooting at 39.7%. And Raven Kelsey is having a huge year for the Beacons, potential player of the year candidate for UMass Boston. Second on the team in points at 12.5, leads the conference with her 10.2 rebounds per game. She's also first in the conference with her 2.7 steals per game. One thing to watch for UMass Boston, without Grace Geary and Maritza Scott, UMass Boston very short-handed for tonight's contest. Really, when you look at the rotation players who normally see time outside of the starting five, Alicia Quinones and sophomores Michaela Illabodi and Ariana Rivera, as deep as UMass Boston nearly goes, it'll be interesting to see how much further second-year head coach Christina Ball will venture down the lineup as the Beacons play a Bridgewater State team that also goes with a pretty short bench, but that's because of the loss of Chanel Melton. She started the opener, played just 5 minutes, and is currently on the bench on crutches. A big loss, as Melton was going to be one of the leaders, a senior out of Brockton who actually was high school teammates with Chantel Jordan, our Beacons player to watch. Bridgewater State out of their huddle, already back on the floor. They're wearing their road reds with white numbers and black trim. The Beacons in their home whites with blue numbers, blue stripes, and the black trim. The Beacons will go from left to right on your computer screen. It'll be Linlin and Edwards on the tip. Linlin at 5'10". Edwards listed at 5'10" as well. Not the tallest player on the Beacons. That's Michaela Illabodi at 6'2". Beacons win the tap. It's controlled by Burston. A man-to-man defense from Bridgewater State. Linlin taps it away to the near side. Jordan's going to throw up a three. Drains it. Chantel Jordan could not hit a three-pointer to save her life a year ago. Was under 20% at points. She had an 0 for 17 drought. What she has done from beyond the arc this year is remarkable, working so hard in the gym day in and day out, shooting just under 50%, and she gives the Beacons a 3-0 lead. Burston down low to Matthew, looking to drive with the left hand, almost stripped of it. Jordan looking for another one. Little bit off on this one, and the long rebound comes out to Stephanie DeSantis. DeSantis forced to pull up with Burston back, and the turnover into the hands of Edwards. Beacons 2-on-1 ahead for Kelsey, and she goes a bit too strong off the glass there. A little bunny miss by the Beacons in an effort to make it 5-0. A minute in, couple turnovers and an air ball. A little bit of nerves here as both teams look to end their losing streaks. It's 5 in a row for Bridgewater, 2 for the Beacons. Kelsey forces the turnover into the hands of Edwards. Bursting ahead for Jordan, already with 3. Looking to find Kelsey there, 2 defenders back. And it's De Silva who picks up this turnover. Both teams with 2 turnovers in the early going. Chelsea Saucier, senior out of Portland, Maine, originally out of Deering High School, to the near side for De Silva. Dribbles up top. Looking for help, picks up her dribble into the hands of DeSantis. Now into the corner, back for Saucier with 6 on the shot clock. Trying to go down low. It's kicked away by Matthew, and that'll push the shot clock back up to 15. She was looking to go down low there for Rihanna Page, who's looks like she's one of the post players on this Bridgewater State team, despite standing just at 5'7". Shot clock went from 2 seconds to 15 seconds, so Bridgewater State has a little bit of space to work with on the intentional kick by Matthew. Up top for Page, working on Kelsey, looks to drive with the right hand. She's stripped. It'll be a jump ball, and it'll stay with Bridgewater State. Shot clock currently reads 11, and they'll keep it there. On the inbound, it'll be Saucier. Looking for help up top. She finds DeSantis working on Edwards. Linlin, the entry pass, tapped away by Kelsey. Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to be Saucier taking it herself off the front rim. Long rebound, finds Burston. Burston around one player, has two players in front, goes near side. Jordan looking for it. She's got an early 5 in the Beacons lead. 5-0 in the first 2 minutes. Good work there from Burston. And Chantel Jordan, our UMass Boston player to watch, an early 5 for the Beacons leading scorer. Near side, DeSantis working on Matthew, gets a step, goes up with the left hand. Nicely done from Stephanie DeSantis, the senior out of Walpole. 5-2 Beacons lead. Burston looking for Jordan, passes up the open 3. Instead it's Matthew, front rim no good. Edwards wins the rebound, but is going to be charged with the over the back. A strong box out from Jenny Linland. First foul on Edwards, first foul on the Beacons. End of the game. Bridgewater State team does a nice job of not fouling. The other side, the Beacons, their bigs do occasionally get into some foul trouble. They nearly had all of their starting 5 foul out against another MASCAC team. That was Westfield State. Long 2. Knocked down by Sarah De Silva to make it a 5-4 game. And again, Westfield State, as Bridgewater State fans should know, pushes the pace at an incredible pace, causing a lot of havoc and a lot of contact. Edwards can't make the catch down low. Drops it off her knee and out of bounds on the entry from Katie Matthew. Beacons will go into some full court pressure here. 3 players in the front court, Kelsey at half court. Ball inbounded to Saucier, immediately double team, looking for help, throws it behind Kelsey. It's DeSantis, rather De Silva there, and they're going to give a foul on Matthew, who just looks in disbelief. Should be a shooting foul. Bridgewater State had just 1 free throw attempt total in their last game against Oberlin College, played at WPI as part of a holiday tournament. They'll have 2 upcoming right here. De Silva, the sophomore out of Chelmsford, Mass. 10 of 14 from the free throw line, one of the better free throw shooters. Her first tickles the twine. We've got a 5-5 tie. Silva on the season averaging 9.6 points, the top scorer on this team. She's got 3 in the early going. Her second is true as well. And Bridgewater State has their first lead at 6-5. A little bit of full court pressure from Bridgewater State. Jordan down low for Edwards, took a step, and they're going to call her for it. So that's the second turnover on Edwards, the 3rd or 4th on the Beacons. UMass Boston easily able to break the press, but unable to keep control of the ball. Up top, it's Linland. Neither team's used a substitution here in the opening 4 minutes. Ball down low, looking for Page. Burst in the strip, loose on the floor. Picked up by Linland. 12 on the shot clock. Up top, De Silva, the ball fake. Now Linland looking to drive. She's called for the traveling. And when things are going poorly for a team, you normally see some more turnovers. And right now, neither of these teams are clicking at 100%. Beacons have lost 2 in a row to fall under 500. Bridgewater State's lost 5 in a row to go from 3-3 to 3-8. 4-on-2 fast break the other way. DeSantis out top for De Silva, looking to drive all the way through 4 Beacons, but she can't get the finish. Kelsey had the rebound go off her teammate, and Page the offensive board. Ariana Rivera will head to the scorer's table for UMass Boston. To the near side, it is Sarah De Silva, dribbling up top against the bigger Edwards. Page from in front of the Beacons bench. Up top finds DeSantis, working on Matthew. Left-handed dribble, step back 2. 8-6, Bridgewater State. A 5-0 run for the visitors. And the Beacons once again will have to face this full court pressure. Burst in from the NCAA logo, across for Kelsey, and ahead for Jordan amongst 2 players. Jordan looking to drive all the way. She's got 7, and the Beacons are down by a point. Chantel Jordan has been all the Beacons offense thus far. Hit an early 3. She's got a pair of layups to add to that. Page looking to drive, kicks it out. Open 3 from the corner. DeSantis make it 11-7 Bridgewater State. The Bridgewater men's players who traveled along with their women's team very much appreciating the early display. Matthew across for Jordan, long 2. Can't hit that one, and Rihanna Page the rebound. Next whistle will take us to immediate timeout. Linlin around, bursting all the way to the tin, gets it to fall. Athletic move from Jenny Linlin, able to dribble past a pair of Beacons, and now it's a 13-7 lead, the largest lead of the game for either side. Edwards had Kelsey for a moment, looking to drive, double teamed. Kelsey had Matthew, didn't see her originally, and the Beacons will have to set up in their half court. 13 on the shot clock, 4:22 to go in this first quarter. The Beacons trailing by 6. Burston needs help, picked up her dribble for Matthew. Matthew back to Burston, need to get it off. One, Burston throws it up, doesn't catch the rim. That'll be a shot clock violation, and that'll take us to our first immediate timeout. Bridgewater State got off to a slow start, but they've been raring to go ever since. A 13-7 Bridgewater State lead at our first immediate timeout. We'll take a commercial along with the teams.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
UMass Boston will send out a pair of new faces. Ariana Rivera and Michaela Illabodi, pair of sophomores. Illabodi, the sophomore center out of Malden, Massachusetts, stands at 6 foot. Also a member of the Beacons women's soccer team. She's out there for Katrina Edwards down low, making her 9th appearance. 14 minutes a game, averaging 3.9 points. She has 19 total rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block on the year. She did have a season high with 7 points against Brandeis on Tuesday night. The other substitute, that's Ariana Rivera. She's a spark plug off the bench, the sophomore guard out of Burlington, Massachusetts, making her 12th appearance, has 4 starts this year, 5.1 points, 2.9 rebounds. She's been a little bit hot and cold this year, but she does have 2 games with 13 or more points. She scored 15 against Pittsburgh State on the road, and then had 13 the other night in a 67-64 loss to Clark University. On the other side, Bridgewater State will stick with the starting 5. 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in this first quarter. UMass Boston trailing by 6. Linlin up top for Saucier. Driving on Rivera, gives it up. Wide open 3 from the top from DeSantis. Give her another one. 16-7. We talked about these slow starts for the Beacons. They looked good in the opening 2 minutes, but ever since, it's been all Bridgewater State. Beacons started leading 5-3. Rivera down low for Illabodi. Can't make the athletic layup and then tips it over looking for Rivera. Instead, it's Linlin with another board. UMass Boston's had their looks around the rim, but they haven't been able to finish on some of these bunnies. Page driving on Illabodi. The hand check is called before the shot, and that's 2 team fouls on the Beacons, 1 on Edwards, 1 on Illabodi. It's a tough cover for Illabodi, who's going to switch on to Linlin. Rihanna Page, very small, big. Should be good if you're down low, but difficult if she's driving on you, as she does there on Kelsey, stretching the lead to 11, 18-7. UMass Boston facing a little adversity here at home. They're starting a stretch of 7 home games in 9 games here in January. Another turnover along the blue, just in front of the Bridgewater State bench, and Raven Kelsey's going to head to the bench after the turnover. Alicia Quinones checks in. Quinones, top freshman on the Beacons this year, out of Stoughton, Massachusetts. 6.7 points, 3.1 rebounds in 15.5 minutes per game. She's appeared in all 11 games prior to today. Up top, the Beacons in a 2-3 zone now, trying to cut down on the open looks for Bridgewater State. Controlled on the far side by De Silva to Page in the corner. Now kicks it over to the near side. Saucier down low into the corner for Linlin. Double team. Flips it back up. Saucier a jumping three. Brought down there by Quinones, and the foul will be on DeSantis. First of the game on Bridgewater State. First on DeSantis. 2-3 zone doing its job and forcing a bad look there. Chelsea Saucier just forced to throw it up before the shot clock blew. And now we'll see Bridgewater State stick in this 3/4 court full court press. Bursting across for Rivera, who easily gets across in time. Now it's Jordan, unable to get the ball in time, and the Beacons dribble out of bounds for a second straight possession. Beacons really hurting themselves more than Bridgewater State's inflicting pain on the defensive end. Into the middle, Saucier loses it. De Silva goes down low for Page, working around Illabodi. No foul call, and it's out of bounds into the hands of the Beacons coach, Christina Baugh. 18-7 in favor of the visitors. 2:16 to go in the first quarter. Beacons got off to a 5-3 lead. Ever since it's been all Bridgewater State. Rivera picks it up just short of the half-court line. Has it stolen away by De Silva. Almost got it right back. De Silva able to hold on to it. Saucier for DeSantis already has a couple threes. Drives, finds Page wide open. 20-7, and it's all Bridgewater State. For a team that's lost 5 in a row, they look very good. Jordan taking the long two. Give her a couple more. She's got 9. She's got 7 of the Beacons' first 9. Actually might have all 9 at this point. The rest of the Beacons have been ice cold. Into the corner, controlled by De Silva. The Beacons desperately need a stop, down 11. It's been as many as 13. Linlin wide open. De Silva up top. Player you can't leave wide open. And she makes the Beacons pay. Drains the triple. Came in averaging 9.6 points. She's close to that total here in the first quarter alone. Quinones finds Rivera, but nearly had it picked away. The Beacons showing no confidence in their ability to dribble through the press at this point. 1:05 to go in the quarter. Bursting, looking to go all the way, and she throws it up awkwardly, gets the foul and the basket. Looked like Bursting was contacted just as she was about to shoot it. Made her shoot in a really awkward fashion, but able to finish nonetheless, and the free throw upcoming. Second foul on Bridgewater State. The Beacons will send 3 players in. It'll be the starting 5 back out there for UMass Boston. On the other side, Bridgewater State, their first subs of the game. Kayla Carter, the freshman guard out of Hamilton, Mass., along with Christine Curran, the junior out of Ayer, Mass., and finally Megan Ianero, the junior out of Ashland, Mass., is bursting too short on the free throw. Ianero manning the point with their team leading by 12, under a minute to go in the first quarter. Immediately over for Curran, who's trapped. The Beacons get the jump ball, and it'll go to the Beacons. UMass Boston would love to go 2 for 1 here. Cut into this 12-point deficit. Things looked promising early on, but Bridgewater State has been all over the hosts over the last 6 to 7 minutes. Matthew looking for a cutting Jordan, couldn't quite handle it and saves it right into the body of Page. Page looking to lead, nearly lost her footing there, able to hold on. Ianero with it to the far side for DeSantis, down low into the hands of Carter. Carter trying to find Page, out of bounds off the Beacons with 15 left on the shot clock, 23 in the quarter. Ianero to inbound. Junior out of Ashland, Mass. Throws it, nearly has it taken away by Matthew, and Matthew able to tip it over to Kelsey. Kelsey will slow it down for Burston. 17 on the clock. The Beacons can play for the last shot. The shot clock just went off, but no need, and they'll play on. The referee's just waving it off. Kelsey for Edwards. Matthew looking for the 3. Wide open. Edwards down low on the rebound, and it bounces over her head. Instead, it goes the other way. Curran has it stripped away with 1. Burston can't get it off in time. Her effort was short either way. 23-11 Bridgewater State after 1 quarter of play. Beacons find themselves in a big hole here at home. We'll take a commercial break. And then we'll take a look around the rest of Beaconville, as it's going to be a busy weekend here in Boston for your UMass Boston Beacons.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
See there your UMass Boston social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at UMass Beacons. Looking around the rest of Beaconville is part 2 of our doubleheader. The men's basketball team will take on Bridgewater State and a pair of teams sitting over 500. Men's hockey back in action tomorrow night against St. Anselm, and women's hockey is at Johnson & Wales on Saturday at 4 p.m. Back to live action. The Beacons will keep the starting 5 out there. Burston, Matthew, Kelsey, Jordan, and Edwards. Bridgewater State's going to stick with some of their subs. It'll be Rihanna Page and DeSantis staying on with the 3 subs, Carter, Ionero, and Curran. Curran draws the hand check on Burston, first of the quarter, and first of the game on Burston. Neither team reached the bonus in that first quarter. It'll be Ionero to inbounds for the visitors. Into the corner. Floated up top for Curran. And now it's into the corner for DeSantis. Wide open 3. Give her another one. Stephanie DeSantis and Sarah De Silva have been on fire from distance. Big reason why the lead is now 15. That's a game high for the visitors. Burston dribbles through it over to Matthew and picked up by Kelsey. Matthew looking to drive on Page, has to pull it out. Finds Edwards at the elbow for Kelsey. Wants the 3, gets this one to fall. Cutting the deficit back to 12. Looking at the stats in that first quarter, Bridgewater State 9 of 13 from the field, 69%. They also hit 3 of 4 threes in both of their free throws. The Beacons just 5 of 13, 1 of 4 from distance, did not attempt a free throw, as that one a little bit too tall for Curran on the near side, and it's out of bounds. Bridgewater State turned the ball over 7 times. The Beacons turned it over 8. For UMass Boston, it was Jordan with 9 of their 11, the only other 2 from Tajay Burston. Bridgewater State led by 10 points from DeSantis. Kelsey looking to go all the way. Foul on the way in. We'll see who picks up this one for Bridgewater State. Be the first on Kayla Carter. Jordan catches it, throws it up, blocked from behind, and Carter comes down with the loose ball down low. Ionero calling out the signals. 8:37 to go in the half. It's a 12-point lead. Carter flings it up with the left hand, fouled by Edwards. That's 2 on Edwards, 2 in the quarter against the Beacons. Strong move there with the left hand by Kayla Carter, making her 12th appearance, averaging 16.9 minutes per game. Has 25 points coming in. 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Her first is up and good. 3 for 3 now from the free throw line. We'll see Page come off along with Curran and Ionero. Linland, De Silva, and Saucier back in. The lone sub will be Carter. Will stick in for this free throw and a bit more. She hits both. Bridgewater State 0 for 1 the other night against Oberlin on New Year's Eve. from the free throw line. They're already 4 for 4 here with 28 minutes remaining as Jordan goes hard to the hoop and she's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2. Chantel Jordan has 9 of the Beacons' first 14, a chance to add to that total as the Beacons are being doubled up. It's the second on Kayla Carter, which if you're going to have a player with 2 fouls and you're Bridget Casey, that's one of the better options. One of the players who comes off the bench and doesn't play a ton. Jordan now with 10 on the game. Came in shooting 66.7% from the free throw line. Beacons will bring Illa Bodie back in for Edwards, who picked up her second on the previous possession. And it'll be Paige replacing Carter. So both players with 2 fouls to the bench. Jordan's second is up and good as well. She's got 11. The Beacons trail by 12. 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go. A ton of time left in this half, much less this game, but the Beacons have been trailing for a while as Matthew strips it out of bounds. Matthew claiming it went off Saucier. Controlled by De Silva up top, picks up her dribble into the corner in front of the Beacons bench for Saucier. Saucier needs help, finds Paige. Paige the skip pass down low for Lindland, and one opportunity. Matthew tried to strip her the ball, fouled her, and Lindland able to put it in, pushing the lead back to 14. And Jenny Lindland has a chance to stretch it to 15. Lindland attended Martha's Vineyard Regional High School. 8 of 14 on the season from the free throw line, make it 9 of 15. Bridgewater State came in shooting 58% from the free throw line. Amongst the worst in the country. They're a perfect 5 for 5. Matthew, skip pass for Jordan, back for Burston, looking for 3, well off the mark, and the long rebound into the hands of De Silva. Saucier leading the charge, will set up. 23 on the shot clock for Paige, working on Illa Bodie all the way through, and Jordan forced to give the foul. Rihanna Paige has been extremely aggressive, especially when Michaela Illa Bodie is guarding her. And Jordan will pick up her first, team's 4th. Paige's first free throw, up and good. Make it 6 for 6 for Bridgewater State. They're going to pause for a second as Stephanie DeSantis ties her shoe. And now we'll see the second from Paige. Rihanna in that first quarter had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Give her 6 points. Now Bridgewater State clearly worked on their free throw shooting over the past couple days of practice. Haven't played since Saturday. Easy look down low for Jordan. She's got 2 more. She has 13. The Beacons have, as a team, have 18. Some really nice passing there. They were able to break the pressure. De Silva to the elbow for Lindland, all the way across for DeSantis. Kelsey cuts her down. DeSantis picks it up, and she's called for the travel. 15-point game. The Beacons have trailed by as many as 16. They're looking a little bit better offensively, but they just have not been able to get the stops they needed. Jennifer White into the game. The junior guard out of Braintree had a huge game the last time out. 14 points off the bench on 4 of 12 3-point shooting against Oberlin in a game at WPI. Originally out of Braintree, a high school that wants one of the better women's high school basketball programs in the state of Massachusetts. Lindland with the strip goes all the way. Kelsey looking to dribble through 2 players and was easily stripped of the ball. Burston needs help, has Matthew, and gets it right back. The lead is 17, the largest it's been for Bridgewater State, and Bridgewater State's bench is feeling it. Jordan from the near side looking to go all the way, gets some space, too strong, the ball's loose. Illa Bodie the rebound, goes up but they can't finish. Lindland has it tapped out of bounds off her, and Chantel Jordan may have gotten away with the foul there. It looked like a pretty clear push in the back. Referees giving the Beacons the benefit of the doubt. Kelsey for Illabodi at the free throw line was looking for the back cut. Instead hands it off for Kelsey, contested 2 as well, short. The Beacons just have no secondary scoring. It's Jordan or nothing else. Lindland up top for Page, near side for De Silva. The extra pass, wide open White, can't finish, and Matthew the rebound. Burston with Jordan leaking out. Burston slows it up for Matthew. Down low for Kelsey, catches it in the gut, and an easy finish as Page was out of position. 35-20, Bridgewater State leads. The Beacons call a timeout with 5:48. It'll become a media timeout. We'll take a break along with the teams. It's all Bridgewater State here in the first half.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
After immediate timeout, the team's back on the floor. Thus far, it's been all Bridgewater State. The Beacons looking to counter. They'll bring out a different looking lineup. Illabodi, Quinones, Jordan, Burston, and Matthew. UMass Boston really with only 8 of their normal rotation players available tonight. And the Beacons going in a 2-3, I believe, zone. Might be a 1-1-3, although that's an odd one. De Silva from the near corner. Give her another one. Sarah De Silva had 7 points in the first quarter. It was actually Stephanie DeSantis with 10 as that pass is too strong. Jordan's going to save it. Finds Illabodi. I'm not sure if that ball was actually off the Beacons, but Jordan not taking any chances. Illabodi in the post. Kicks it out. Jordan looking to answer with a 3 of her own. Give her 3 more. Chantel Jordan has the majority of the Beacons' 23 points. I believe it's 17 at this point. The rest of her team has been ice cold. De Silva looking for another one. Hits the top of the backboard there. She was contacted after the shot by Quinones. Matthew, the pull up from the elbow, hands it off for Quinones all the way, and they're going to call a foul on the drive. It'll be on De Silva. Picks up her second, team's third. Beacons will get it underneath. DeSantis in for De Silva, who is now the second player on Bridgewater State with 2 fouls. Katrina Edwards sitting for the Beacons with 2 as well. Burst in the inbounder. Finds Illabodi working on the smaller Lindley, losing her footing, and she's called for the travel. UMass Boston easily over a dozen turnovers here in the first half. They had 25 against Brandeis on Tuesday. Beacons team making a Bridgewater State team that had lost 5 in a row look very good, although give all the credit to Bridgewater State. They've played well, especially on the offensive end. This team came in averaging 58 points per game, 48 points per game. They already have 38 here in the first half. Turnover there on Bridgewater State. The Beacons chance to cut into this 15-point deficit. Burston Has to leave it off for Matthew against this full court pressure. Back to Burston. 4 seconds to clear the line and easily does so. Quinones goes all the way, leaves it up short as Page was there and was not called for the contact. Pass ahead for White, looking to fling it down low for Page. Quinones gets back in time. Saucier to inbound with 25. Finds Page, looking to drive on Quinones. That's her MO. Goes right into Matthew. Saucier the rebound. Wide open to DeSantis. Too strong on the three. Quinones has it. Immediately finds Burston. 3-on-2 break for the Beacons. Burston goes up with the left hand. Off the mark. Quinones the rebound. Way too short. Matthew grabs it. Looking for Burston. Picked up by Saucier. Saucier looking to go the other way. Ahead for Lindley. Illabodi, the lone player back. Acrobatic finish. And give it to Jenny Lindley. Into the corner, Matthew some space, looks to go all the way, draws the contact. And she'll head to the line for a pair. Chelsea Saucier will pick up her first. That's the 4th on Bridgewater State, 4 on both sides. So the next foul will lead to the double bonus. Kelsey in for Illabodi for the Beacons. On the other side, it'll be Nicole Bostic, the freshman guard out of Bridgewater, Mass, who attended Coyle and Cassidy High School, making her 10th appearance. Matthew misses the second. She came in shooting 66.7% from the charity stripe. Saucier into the corner for Bostic. Near side, it's Saucier, given space by Kelsey. Saucier across for Bostic, working on the smaller Burston with 8 on the shot clock. Saucier thought about the 3, has a pick from Bostic, thought about the 3 again. Now it's Page with 2-1, and they're going to call a hand check on Quinones before the shot went up. Another bailout by the Beacons. That's the 3rd or 4th time Bridgewater State has gotten to 2 seconds or left on the shot clock, and the Beacons have either fouled them or given up a shot and then an offensive rebound. First on Quinones. 5th on the Beacons. It'll lead to 2 free throws for Page, who hit the shot either way before the shot clock went off, but they ruled that the foul was on the floor. Rihanna's had a really nice game. Getting points, rebounds, and even an assist or 2. Rihanna, junior captain, had a season-low 2 points, 1 of 7 shooting versus Oberlin last Saturday. Has finished with double-digit points in 5 games earlier on this season. Hits 1 of 2. The lead is 17, tied for the largest it's been. Quinones stops right at the line, the worst possible place to do it, but the Beacons able to get away with it. Jordan, a little bit too strong. Kelsey gets the rebound and the putback, cutting it to 15. Saucier slowly bringing it up. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Bridgewater State has led by double digits for the majority. Saucier, wide open 3 from the corner, drains it. Back to 17 points for Bridgewater State. Kelsey goes into the corner, leaves it for Burston. Up top for Matthew. The Beacons need a spark right now. Quinones for Jordan, who's carried the offense throughout this first half. Has more than half of the Beacons' points. Burston for Matthew with 7. Matthew tried to go baseline. She's called for the travel. Bridgewater State has a chance to stretch this lead out to their largest of the game. Into the corner, swept across for Page, wide open down low, and she's able to score over Matthew. 19-point Bridgewater State advantage. Kelsey picks up the dribble over for Burston. Back for Kelsey. Beacons break the press. Down low for Matthew, had it tipped away by Lindland. Saucier looking to lead the break for Bostic, who pulls up and back out to Saucier with 1:20 to play. Saucier for DeSantis, looking to drive. Chelsea throws it up, too strong, battles for the rebound. Quinones pulls it down. Bursting for Matthew. The Beacons seem lost out there offensively right now. Not a lot of movement. Quinones looking down low for Kelsey, who can't make the catch but dribbles it out of bounds off the Bears. See a substitution for Bridgewater State. First time we've seen Janet Marr, junior forward out of Mansfield, Mass, making just her 7th appearance, 30 total minutes on the year. She'll check in for Page, who has 1 foul. On the Beacon side, they'll bring Rivera on for Jordan. Bursting up top with 10 seconds, finds Kelsey. Kelsey for Rivera, looking to drive with the right hand all the way in, and it falls off the back rim. Cuts the deficit to 45-28. 40 seconds left, a 14-second difference between game clock and shot clock. The Beacons will get at least one more possession. Bostic for DeSantis, being guarded closely there by Rivera. DeSantis gets the instructions from her head coach, and we'll see Bridgewater State call a timeout, trying to draw up a play here. The lead is 17. This has been an impressive display by Bridgewater State, who came in averaging 48.7 points per game. They have 45 in this half alone. On the Beacon side, we talked about their defensive struggles, giving up 71 points per game, but right now they're on pace to give up 90, and this has certainly been a Bridgewater State tilted half. $13 on the shot clock. Bridgewater State will go with Marr, Bostic, Linlin, Saucier, and the inbounder will be DeSantis. The Beacons, Rivera, Matthew, Burston, Kelsey, and Quinones. Saucier right back for DeSantis, and back for Saucier with 9. Goes to the near side, Bostic around a pick. Has to dribble around over for Saucier. Saucier looking to drive on Matthew, gets a step off the glass, no good. Linlin gets the rebound and is fouled. 15.5 ticks to go, and Jenny Linlin will go to the line for 2. To make matters worse, that's the 3rd foul on Katie Matthew. First player with 3 fouls. Linlin drains the first. It's a bit of a odd shooting stroke. She almost shot puts it up there, but it works nonetheless. Gets both. The largest lead of the game for Bridgewater at 19. Bursting with 8 seconds on the game clock, looking to set it up. Rivera had Quinones, didn't see her, down to 2. Matthew needs to chuck it up, will not get the shot off, and the Beacons go into the half with an empty possession. Take a commercial break, and we'll bring you an interview with one of the Beacons' coaches. UMass Boston trails by 19 after the opening 20 minutes.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III in athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Coach Christina, Coach, this team had a week to sort of practice and get their frustrations out, and obviously they've come out very hungry today against you guys. What are you going to try to focus on during this halftime break to get your girls back in with the same kind of hunger as they're showing?
Yeah, they're just playing harder than us. That's pretty the bottom line right now. We got to dig deep and get back to Beacon basketball, because that 20 minutes definitely was not it.
One thing you showed first semester that hasn't seemed to work as well today has been your press break. It seems like a lot of times you're turning the ball over in bad spots. How do you fix that, maybe not today, but heading into Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully we can fix it today, but we got to catch and survey. We're trying to dribble, and we don't need to dribble. We need to pass, catch, look up. I mean, if we would make 4 passes versus the press, we'd get a lot of layups.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. We'll head back up top. We'll take a commercial break, and then we'll go ahead with our halftime show.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day. What do we mean when we say UMass is here for a reason? We mean that the 5-campus UMass system is the only public research university that the people of Massachusetts established to create better futures for themselves, but also for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a whole. It's a university that educates 73,000 students every day and graduates 17,000 graduates every year. We are the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We're one of the state's 3 major academic research engines: research that saves and improves people's lives, and research that drives the innovation economy of Massachusetts. We provide services and economic opportunity to every region of the Commonwealth. The noted historian David McCullough once said that 2 great concepts, university and Massachusetts, come together in only one place, and we are very aware of how fortunate we are to bear the name, the University of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day. This has been a year of growth for me, but more importantly, a year of growth for the University of Massachusetts. When I originally was elected to the position, I said that this was my dream job. It's an opportunity to lead a great university, a university that has dramatic impact. A lot has happened. It's been an exciting year. We have had record enrollment. We've had record selectivity. The quality of the students attending the University of Massachusetts has never been stronger. In terms of fundraising, when I was inaugurated as a new president, we raised $1.6 million. It's more money that has ever been raised at any public university inauguration in the history of Massachusetts. We've put $20 million more into financial aid so the students will be able to get the financial assistance that they need. We're interacting with business and industry really across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, trying to get an understanding from them of what skills they're looking for in terms of who they want to hire to make sure the University of Massachusetts are addressing those needs. I feel energy. I feel that people recognize the fact that we're headed in the right direction and they want to be part of it too. I've had so many parents come up to me and talk about their son or daughter. And I remember talking to a parent who had immigrated from Cambodia and literally tears in his eyes as his daughter is graduating. Those stories are just over and over and over through all of our 5 campuses. There's an indisputable momentum that the University of Massachusetts has right now. All you have to do is visit the campuses and see the quality of the students, the quality of the faculty, and see the enthusiasm. We've made an awful lot of progress. But I can tell you after 1 year, I think of what Dr. King said about a sense of urgency, and that sense of urgency is now. I'm committed to making sure that we keep this momentum going. I'm committed to fighting for the University of Massachusetts in every way that I can, with every fiber that I can, so that we can get to where we want to be, which is the best public university in America. Now is our time. UMass literally can change the world.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed.
Kyle Strowski from Agawam, Massachusetts. I'm a senior here at UMass Boston. I'm a marketing major. Probably have to say my favorite moment was my no-hitter my freshman year. Being a freshman, especially just making a statement right away. Seeing the reactions on the seniors' faces, it was something that was a lot of fun to be a part of. If you want to play and you want to compete for championship every year, definitely UMass Boston is a good place to come look at.
And now, this one's launched, right center field. That's going to win the game for the Beacons. It is down.
LEC is probably best division in college D3 baseball in the country. Play against the top competition every year. I think we have a top 10 schedule in the country this year. So we're young, but we also mix in with a good group of junior college transfers. Being on the baseball team here at UMass is a good experience, great experience. Only about 2% of people can play college baseball, and one that I'll take for me for the rest of my life.
Kyle Fields fires the first, great scoop from Jason Cholin.
Welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. It's 47-28 Bridgewater State at the half, looking to snap a 5-game losing streak. The Bears averaged 48 points per game. They had 47 in that first half. We'll take a look at the team stats. Bridgewater State shot a very strong percentage, 61.5% from the field, 62.5% from distance, 5 of 8, and they also hit 10 of 11 free throws. This is a team that had 1 free throw attempt in their last game, turning things on a totally new leaf to start 2017. The Beacons on the other side shooting 39.3% from the field and 42% from distance, actually 3 of 7. UMass Boston 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Bridgewater State winning the rebounding battle despite the fact they came in at negative 15.8 rebounds per game. We'll move along in our halftime show and take a look at the team leaders. The one bright spot for UMass Boston has been Chantel Jordan. 16 points for UMass Boston. She's outscoring the rest of the team 16-12. Raven Kelsey has 7, 2 for Tajay Burston, 2 for Ariana Rivera, and 1 for Katie Matthew. Alicia Quinones has 3 of the Beacons' 11 rebounds. On the other side, Stephanie DeSantis had 10 in the first quarter. She has 13. Jenny Lindland has 11. Sarah De Silva has 10. And it's been the point guard, Chelsea Saucier, who's done a bit of everything. 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Right now, we'll take a look at the highlights from that first half, and then we'll be back with a look around the conference and around Beaconville right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Finds Burston. Burston around one player, has 2 players in front, goes near side. Jordan looking for it. She's got an early 5 in the Beacons lead. Just working on Matthew. Left-handed dribble, step back 2. 8-6 that. Page looking to drive, kicks it out. Open 3 from the corner. DeSantis make it 11-7. Driving on Rivera, gives it up. Wide open 3 from the top from DeSantis. Give her another one. Here for DeSantis, already has a couple threes. Drives, finds Page wide open. 20-7, and it's Lindland wide open. De Silva up top. Player you can't leave wide open, and she the quarter. Burston looking to go all the way, and she throws it up awkwardly, gets the foul, and the into the corner. Floated up top for Curran, and now it's into the corner for DeSantis. Wide open 3. Give her a Saucier. Saucier needs help, finds Page. Page the skip pass down low for Lindland, and one opportunity. Those were a look at the first half highlights. Right now, we'll take a look around the rest of Beaconville. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up at 7. It's UMass Boston men's basketball and Bridgewater State, a matchup of 7-win teams. The men's hockey team takes on St. Anselm College in conference play tomorrow at 7. Women's hockey back in action on Saturday at 4 when they travel to Johnson and Wales. Look around the rest of the Little East Conference. 2 games going on later tonight, a pair of 7 p.m. starts. Plymouth State at Newberry College, Johnson and Wales at Eastern Connecticut State. Finally, a look ahead. The Beacons will return to conference play, currently sitting at 1-1. They'll host Rhode Island College on Saturday, travel up to New Hampshire and Plymouth State next Wednesday, and then be back home next Saturday against Eastern Connecticut State. 3 big ones coming up. The Beacons looking for a win in this one. They're going to have a lot of work to do here in the second half, a 19-point deficit. We'll take an audio break, and then we'll be back in about 30 seconds with half number 2. Tell him he better be. UMass Boston with the ball going from right to left here in half number 2. It's Matthew over for Jordan for Burston, and the Beacons trying to set up against a zone at this point, with Bridgewater State giving a lot of room off of their players. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Jordan looking to work from the free throw line. The floater falls. Chantel Jordan's got 18. The Beacons trail by 15. It's been a one-woman show for UMass Boston. The senior, who had 17 points off the bench on Tuesday, has 18 in this one. Came in averaging 12.8 points per game. That average is going to go up. Remember, our player to watch, she averages less than 5 points per game for her career, but she's having a phenomenal senior season. Up top, it's De Silva, the ball fake, takes a long 2, well off the mark, but the long rebound falls into the hands of DeSantis. They reset the shot clock. It should not have been reset. That ball hit the backboard and not the rim, and I'm the only person who recognizes it. It's Saucier with it at the three-point line. Jordan guarding her. Down low, wide open, Page over Edwards, and Bridgewater State takes advantage of the extra time to score an easy bucket. 19-point advantage once again. Kelsey down low for Matthew. Did not score a bucket in that first half, and she's called for the traveling, unable to hold on to the pivot foot there. Bridgewater State a chance to stretch this lead out to 20 or more for the first time. It's Page working on Kelsey. Cross for Saucier. Saucier into the hands of DeSantis, finds Lindland, was looking for De Silva, and they're going to call a foul on Edwards 2 to 3 seconds after Lindland threw up an air ball. That was Michelle Enzaloni, the side official calling that one. The other officials, Matthew Moniz and Rob Viola. See Jenny Lindland head to the line for 2. Easily knocks down the first. Bridgewater State was 10 of 11 in the first half. Lindland a perfect 3 for 3, misses the second, but the lead is 20. UMass Boston out there with the starters. Bursting, Kelsey, Edwards, Matthew, and Jordan. Jordan from front of her own bench over to Bursting with 10 on the shot clock. Back to Matthew. Eakins would love to get Matthew going. Finds Jordan, needs to do something here with 5. Dribbles in, loses the dribble. Matthew fighting for it. They're going to call a jump ball, but possession arrow in favor of Bridgewater State. UMass Boston does not look like the same team that in their last game before break, down Westfield State 95-91, and probably their best win of the season. Lost 2 in a row, a close game to Clark here at home on December 30th, and then a big loss against Brandeis 79-54. This is by far the statistically worst team they faced of the 3 since finals, and Bridgewater State is piling it on, a 22-point lead after the easy bucket down low. Kelsey for Matthews, not even looking for her own shot at this point. Jordan looks to go the whole way and jaws the block there on DeSantis. First team foul on Bridgewater State. Call it the first on DeSantis, and we'll see Jordan head to the line for 2. She's got 18 in the game, 18 the Beacons 30. She's 2 for 2 from the free throw line, make it 3 of 3. Chantel's season high is 21. She's got 20 after the second made free throw. 20-point deficit for UMass Boston. The defensive end has been the bigger issue than the offensive end, though. Just have not been able to slow down Bridgewater State, who shot 61% in that first half. De Silva finds Page, and Matthews called for the foul. Matthew can't believe it, but it did appear as if she made contact with the arm. Be the 4th on Matthews, probably going to have to sit here with 6:50 to go in the third quarter. Second team foul on the Beacons. Matthew has not been able to get going, in part because of all of those fouls. Page easily drains the first. This does not look like a team that shoots 58% from the free throw line. Thus far, they're 12 of 14. Make it 12 of 15, but still a very strong percentage. Burst in all the way to the tin with the left hand, can't finish. Edwards, the offensive rebound, looking to go back up with it, misses. Rebound loose. It's Kelsey now, tries to put it up with the left hand, way too strong. And DeSantis, the smallest player there, is able to get the rebound. She looks to drive, finds Lindland, and she'll have to pull it up, and there's going to be a travel before the contact from Kelsey. 21-point lead for the visitors, largest of the game. Little bit of soft pressure coming from Bridgewater State. Lindland, the only player in the backcourt. Kelsey is called for the travel. The Beacons give it right back. Beacons had 13 turnovers in the first half, on pace for 20-plus, 25-plus for the second consecutive game. Saucier working on Burston, trying to speed her up. Chelsea over for Linland beyond the three-point arc. And across for Saucier. For De Silva working on Jordan. Two of the better scores down low. DeSantis got free and puts it off the glass and in. This Bridgewater State team, very small, but that's causing the Meekins problems as they just continue to run around screens and get open. Matthew for Burston, and the handoff to Kelsey, who looks to go all the way, draws the contact on Linland, who's not appreciative of the call. And Raven will go to the line with their team trailing by 23. Raven had 7 points in the first half, good for second on the team. Her first catch at the front of the rim and falls out. The Beacons will bring Quinones on for Katie Matthew. We'll see Rivera check on for Kelsey after the second free throw. Raven out of Boston, Mass. Out of John D. O'Brien High School. Misses the second, but Edwards almost had the rebound. And it looks like the foul is going to go against Bridgewater. Edwards held onto there by, it's going to be Page instead of Saucier. Page picks up her second foul. Saucier has one, so either way it wasn't going to hurt Bridgewater State too much. Rivera checks in, and they're going to call a 5-second call. Beacons just seem all kinds of out of sorts at this point. Turnovers on every possible play. That's their first 5-second call. Page working on Burston. That should be a mismatch for the Beacons. And coming away with the loose ball is Edwards. Edwards slow to get up behind the play and is limping, but able to get up on her own. And it's Rivera going to the hoop, but she's fouled before the shot. So we'll see the Beacons get the ball underneath, actually over by the bench. It's the third on Page, who's picked up fouls on back-to-back possessions. That's 4 now on Bridgewater State. Remember, 5 fouls, and the opposing team will shoot the double bonus. Edwards looking to go to work on Page, looking to draw another one. Jordan gets the rebound. She's got 22, a new season high and career high for the senior. 22 of the Beacons, 34. Page controls up top. Over for De Silva. Looking for help, finds DeSantis. Looking to drive on Rivera. Step back, 2 from the elbow. Another bucket for Stephanie DeSantis. Nice little player for this Bridgewater State team. Jordan trying to dish it off for Edwards. We've got a charge on Jordan, who can't believe it. Look of disbelief on her face as Chantel picks up her second, team's third, and that'll draw us to the immediate timeout. We'll take a commercial break along with the teams. It's Bridgewater State leading by their largest margin of the game at 23, 57-34.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Remember, folks, to stick around for game number 2. UMass Boston men's basketball against Bridgewater State. Should be a good one. The Beacons at 7-4, Bridgewater State at 7-5. Both teams coming off losses on Tuesday to non-conference opponents. The Beacons back in action in conference play on Saturday against Rhode Island College, Jason Harris's alma mater. On the other side, Bridgewater State still hasn't played a conference game. They'll open up conference play on Saturday at Framingham State University. Bridgewater State inbound, and the Beacons will go in some full court pressure. Looks like they're double teaming Saucier, with Linland having pressure from Edwards. Saucier still able to get the inbounds, and she'll easily break the full court pressure. Very little that UMass Boston has done that seems to have frustrated Bridgewater State. On the other side, the Beacons have been frustrated by the half-court press and even a little bit of man-to-man as the ball is thrown out of bounds there by the Bears. Quinona is ahead for Burston as Linland, the lone rover in the front court. Quinones leaves it off for Burston, able to get it across for Rivera. Rivera aiming for Edwards, who puts it off her own foot. We'll have a jump ball, and it'll go to the Beacons. A year ago, this game was 84-80 in overtime. Both teams missing some key pieces from that game as Jordan draws the foul. Caught De Silva there underneath the chin, but De Silva giving the contact first, and we'll see Chantel already working on a career night, head to the line for a couple more. She's got 22. Outscoring, she's close to doubling up her teammates in this game. This is the first. So that's the third foul there on De Silva, who joins Page with 3 fouls. If she can hit the second, she'll match her uniform number, and does so. Saucier with some three-quarter court pressure. Ahead for De Silva, finds Linland, who gets decked by Quinones just a half second late there. Came through the shoulder instead of just to the right to get the ball, and that's going to be an easy foul call on Alicia. Second on Quinones. Fourth on the Beacons. Bridgewater State already has been whistled 5 times as the referees look up at the scoreboard, checking to see if it's foul number 5. It was foul number 4. Saucier waiting to get it in, finds DeSantis looking for the 3, in and out, long rebound picked up by Bridgewater State. This team was last in the country in offensive rebounds per game. They had 3 in the first half. That's at least their 4th. Saucier nearly loses the dribble, and then Quinones is called for the foul. Just a half second late there trying to go for the loose ball. And we'll see Saucier go to the line after back-to-back fouls on Alicia Quinones. Saucier's first. Knocks it down. We'll see Christine Curran check back in for Bridgewater State. Curran saw 2 minutes in the first half. Turned the ball over twice, had 1 rebound. Saucier knocks down both to make it a 24-point advantage. Quinones back over for Burston and ahead for Edwards. The lead is 24 with 3:30 to play in the third quarter. UMass Boston has never really threatened to cut into this deficit. Haven't been able to put together a run in more than 4. Burston looking to go all the way, throws it up, a lot of contact and bodies down low. Lone player ahead is Curran. Jordan trying to catch up, and Jordan gives up the foul as Curran will have to earn it the hard way with a pair of free throws. The Beacons had so many players crashing the offensive glass that Curran was all alone. Good work from Jordan. She picks up her 3rd. Curran hits the first, stretching the lead to 25. Kelsey and Illabodi will check on for Quinones and Edwards. Curran was just 3 for 6 from the free throw line coming in, knocks down 1 of 2. Rivera looking to work on Carter. Picks up the dribble, needs help, and will just throw it towards the free throw line into the hands of Linland, and Kelsey gives the foul. First on Kelsey, but the Beacons had already been called for 5. And we'll see Jenny Lindland have a chance to add to her scoring total. Lindland throws up a rainbow and hits the first. You can see how much Bridgewater State's bench is enjoying this after a 5-game losing streak. Their entire bench getting up and clapping after every made free throw. Lindland tacks on 2. And the lead is as large as it's been at 27. Burston able to get it over to Kelsey, although just barely. Kelsey pulls up from 6 feet and knocks down the baseline jumper. The Beacons had won 3 in a row against Bridgewater State. Coming into this one, last year's game a tight one, 84-80 in overtime. Previous couple, though, the Beacons had outscored Bridgewater State over the last 3 by 18.66 per game. Bridgewater State looks like they might outscore the Beacons by more than that in this one as Rivera, too strong. Illabodi the rebound. She's blocked from behind. Kelsey the board, looking to throw it up. Carter with another block. Kelsey to the ground. The Beacons trying to call for timeout, and they're going to get it. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with the teams. 2:10 to go in the quarter. It's 62-37 Bridgewater State.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. It's one of those moments you never forget.
Katie Matthew back into the game. In there with Rivera, Illabodi, Kelsey, and Jordan. Kelsey, a deep 3, no good. Matthew, the offensive board. Out for Jordan, new 30 on the clock. The Beacons coaching staff shouting out instructions. Down low for Illabodi, able to finish with Saucier coming over. The Beacons getting some rare points down low. Trails 62-39 with a minute 45 to go in the third. Carter losing her footing. Lindland trying to save it. Jordan picks it up. Jordan should have an easy 2. The Beacons have 4 in a row, and the deficit is just 21. This game is not over. It's just the Beacons need to play extremely well for about 11 minutes as Kelsey tried to save it. Saved it into the first row of the stands. UMass Boston can cut this one to even as few as 17, maybe even 16 heading into the fourth. We could have a game as DeSantis catches the inbounds, misses the 3. It's a rare sight. Bridgewater State has shot extremely well from 3. Rivera dishes it over for Kelsey, who went into the same space as Rivera. Beacons will set up their half court with 20 on the shot clock. 4-0 run for the Beacons right now. Jordan looking for help, has the dribble if she wants it. For Rivera, looking to drive. Rivera runs into Lindland, who's called for the block. 57.4 seconds. We'll see Rivera take a pair of free throws. Sophomore guard out of Burlington, Mass. Ariana shooting 68.8% from the free throw line. Takes her time and knocks down the first. Cuts it to 20. This game is not over yet. 5-0 Beacons run. Make it 6. Can the Beacons get another stop and some more points before the end of this quarter? Curran throws it in the hands of Matthew. Ahead for Jordan, who couldn't make the catch, and Saucier tries to save it. It'll be out of bounds for the Beacons. Saucier can't believe it. She's trying to laugh it off. The Beacons actually have a chance for a quick 2-for-1 if they can really make things happen. If this game had continued going the way it was going, that ball would have easily floated out of bounds. Kelsey looking for help, finds Illabodi at the free throw line. Illabodi looking to work on Carter, gets all the way, draws the foul. She'll head to the line for 2. Carter looks like she took an elbow to the chest there. That's the third on Carter. Picked up 2 in the first half, and now Illabodi will head to the line for 2. One of the Beacons' better free throw shooters. 11 of 17 coming into this one. Knocks down the first. 7-0 Beacons run. It's an 18-point deficit. Stranger things have happened. Still 39.7 seconds left. The Beacons should get the ball back at least one more time. Illabodi second. Perfect. An 8-0 run. Saucier with the full court pressure. The Beacons feeling it right now. Ahead for Lindland. Gets around Matthew. Lindland double team. Gets it over for Saucier. Bridgewater State just needs a bucket here to stem the tide. De Silva for DeSantis. 25 seconds left. 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Saucier working on Rivera. Gets a screen from Lindland. Looking to go all the way. The foul comes from Illabodi and it'll count. What an answer from Chelsea Saucier. Just when people thought this game might get interesting, Chelsea Saucier answers the call. Driving, gets the contact from Illabodi, the second on Michaela. And the lead is 19, a chance to make it 20. Saucier no good on the free throw. Kelsey has it stripped from behind by Lindland into the hands of Saucier. Bridgewater State can make it a 20-point game. With 7, the double team comes. Lindland driving on Illabodi, steps out of bounds with 2.9 left. Oh, they called the foul. The referee initially pointed to the baseline and then changed his call. So instead, it'll be a blocking call on Illabodi, and Lindland will have a chance to stretch this to 20 or 21. Lindland puts it up and in. She's been very strong from the free throw line today. Bridgewater State's going to have all 4 players outside of the free throw shooter retreat with just 2.9 left. Misses the second. Kelsey has 2.9, down to 0.5, throws it up. She's short, and the Beacons trail by 20. So after a nice little run that made you think, what if Bridgewater State ends the quarter on a 3-0 run, we'll head to a break, and then we'll take a look ahead as UMass Boston, it's like they're on their way to their 3rd straight loss.
Beacons on the track! Beacons on the track!
My name is Tyler Hart.
Beacons on the track!
Being on the track and field team here is the greatest decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston. When you train together in that sort of intensity, you build a bond with people who are training with you. You know, it's like a higher level of friendship. It's like teammates, it's just a different level. My freshman year, I got a Rookie Athlete of the Year. Outdoor for my sophomore year, I was the first time I went to nationals. When I jump, it's a little difficult considering I have hereditary disorder known as amblyopia.
There we go.
It's pretty much just a partial blindness in the left eye. The best way to describe it is if you have decent prescriptions for contact lenses, you take one of the lenses out, and then you put your hand over the eye with that lens. That's my vision. I rely more on my steps as opposed to my visual perception of how far away the bar is. And since I can't see out of my left eye, I have to sit on the far left-hand side of the class. Hopefully coach for a few years and coach some high school kids, maybe even coach on a college level as like an assistant coach, and go to PA school, then do a 5-year program and try to get my loans paid back, and then go from there.
UMass Boston will return to conference play this weekend. The Beacons will host Rhode Island College on Saturday at 1. Travel to Plymouth State on Wednesday at 5:30, and then take on Eastern Connecticut State on next Saturday at 1 p.m. as the Beacons closing out their conference play shortly. The Beacons have just one more non-conference game left this season. That's the 31st of January when UMass Boston hosts NESCAC powerhouse Bowdoin University. Looking at the stats through 3 quarters, Chantel Jordan is the story. 25 points for UMass Boston, 9 of 14 from the field. Already a career high. Can Jordan go for 30? Program record, I believe, is 33-34, as Rivera is called for the kickball. On the other side, it's a nice balanced attack from Bridgewater State. 17 from Linland and DeSantis, 12 from Page, and 10 from De Silva. 4 players in double digits. Kelsey, the rebound, has Jordan ahead. Instead, she gets tripped up, and Raven Kelsey's in a ton of pain there. It's her right knee collided with DeSantis. This would be devastating if there were any kind of serious injury, because Kelsey's been one of the team's best players this season. Kelsey able to get up under her own power. And she's going to try to stay out there. DeSantis and Carter will check out for Bridgewater. They're going with White, Page, Linland, De Silva, and Saucier. For the Beacons, it's Matthew, Jordan, Rivera, Kelsey, and Illabodi. Rivera over for Kelsey, with Illabodi calling for the ball in the post. To Rivera. It's cleared out, looks to go all the way, a little bit short with the right hand, and knocks the rebound away from her teammate Matthew. Both players were in the same vicinity. Outlet pass a bit too strong in between 2 players, and it'll go back to the Beacons. 65-45 Bears. They've led since the opening minutes. The Beacons led 5-3 ever since it's been all Bridgewater State. It's been double digits for much of the game. Rivera dribbles over to the near side, gets a screen from Illabodi to Matthew, who's been very quiet. Rivera will take a 3, front rim no good, and an easy rebound for Saucier. Triple team on the near side, has White, 4 on 2, and White will go right into Illabodi, and Illabodi just took a knee to the thigh there, and Michaela's down in pain. We'll see the Beacons training staff come out. And we'll take a brief stoppage as Michaela Illabodi will be attended to by the Beacons trainer.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Sorry for those technical difficulties. Jennifer White made 1 of 2, and on the other end, Edwards misses the putback. Kelsey able to keep it in mounds. It's Kelsey, Rivera, Matthew, Edwards, and Jordan. Kelsey is fouled there on the drive. Looks like it's going to go on Carter, which should be her 4th. It is the 4th on Kayla Carter, the freshman out of Hamilton, Mass. Matthew, the inbounder, will go up top for Rivera. The Beacons trailing by 21. Kelsey takes the 3 and knocks it down. She's into double figures with 12. Second only to Jordan, who has 25. Saucier back for De Silva. Tapped away from behind by Rivera, but there's no Beacons there. White up top for De Silva. Finds Saucier. Fakes the pass for Carter. Now it's White across for Saucier with 9. Dribbles over. White takes the 3. Too strong. Rebound into the hands of Carter. The Beacons didn't get a body on her. Beacons stripped the ball away. It's Rivera with trailers behind. Jump fakes. Misses it. Picked up by White. 2 players ahead for Bridgewater State. Perfect pass into the hands of Linlin, who knocks it down. That'll force a Bridgewater State timeout. We'll take a timeout along with the teams. The lead back out to 20 for Bridgewater State.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Matthew to inbound for the Beacons. 7:43 to go in this non-conference contest. Bridgewater State looks well on their way to snapping a 5-game losing streak and a 3-game streak against the Beacons. Edwards from the elbow up top. Rivera will try a 3. Drains it. Beacons back to within 17. They cut it to 18 in the third quarter. This is as close as they've been in the second half. Saucier for White and Carter playing with those 4 fouls. It was 47-28 at halftime. Saucier dribbles it off her hip, and the Beacons will get it back with 7:02 to go. Can the Beacons put a run together and really get back in this game? We'll see DeSantis check in for White. I think Bridget Casey had that same idea and didn't want to have any of it. Rivera picks up the dribble. Linlin pressuring her along the sideline. Matthew gives it right back for Rivera. Back for Matthew. Cross for Kelsey. Kelsey looking to drive up and under, puts it in. Give her 14, and the Beacons' deficit is 15. Saucier asking for help against this full court pressure. Across for De Silva. The Beacons trying to double her. Gets it off for Lindland. Jordan nearly had the turnover. Near side for DeSantis, who had Carter. Gives it back for Saucier. Bridgewater State eating into each shot clock. Lindland is swatted by Edwards and picks up the loose ball. Beacons are just making you think a little bit, what if? Matthew, double team, kicks it out, wide open. Rivera for three, give it to her. Why not? 12-point game with 6:07 to go. And the Beacons faithful coming alive. Got a timeout on the floor. Take it with them. The Beacons as close as they've been since the first quarter. Trailing by 12.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
We'll show you the three from Ariana Rivera that sent this game to break. The Beacon sophomore guard knocking down a wide open three to cut it to a 12-point deficit. See the enthusiasm on the Beacon's bench there. UMass Boston has trailed ever since leading 5-3. It's been a testing game for the Beacons, who have trailed by as many as 25. Beacons in some full court pressure out of the break. Still 6 minutes left. DeSantis catches in the front court. Nearly loses the dribble. Trying to find Saucier. Instead, she'll find De Silva. Had Lindland down low for a moment. Still 16 on the shot clock. Saucier for Page back into the game for Carter. DeSantis double teamed, and she'll draw the foul on Matthew. That's 5 on Katie Matthew. And she'll head to the bench. Christina Ball looking down her bench, trying to figure it out. She's got Quinones and Burson, the two players who have played alongside Illabodi. She also has Kiana Prince and Crystal Martinez potentially. She'll go with Burston, team starting point guard. Katie Matthews' day done with 5:47 to play. A new 30 on the clock. De Silva for Saucier, now Page, who was so lethal in the first half. Throws it down low looking for DeSantis. Picked off by Burston. Burston into the front court. Still 5:30 to go, just a 12-point deficit. I say just because it's been 20 or more for most of this game. Rivera looking for Jordan, floats it in there. Jordan a little bit too short on the layup attempt. She's scoreless here in the fourth. And De Silva's called for the double dribble as Burston came in and caught her just a little bit. Silva was looking up floor. Burston snuck in, forced her to think about it, and that forced the turnover. Beacons have been doing this fourth quarter comeback without Jordan offensively. 25 in the first three. Scoreless here in quarter four. See if they go to her on this possession. Burston over for Jordan, nearly taken away by De Silva. Double team. Jordan loses it. De Silva's there fighting for it. Got a tie up. It'll stay with the Beacons. Jordan sporting knee braces on both knees. Did suffer knee injury first semester that she's playing through. Have to wonder how she's feeling after playing the majority of this game. Burston looking for help. Gets it in. It's off Saucier, and she's able to hold on. Throws it ahead for Lindland. Lindland out ahead of the pack. Kelsey trying to come back, and she strips it, but she's going to be called for the foul. Be 2 free throws for Lindland as Kelsey raced back, but couldn't quite get there in time. It's the second on Kelsey, the third on the Beacons. And we'll see Jessie Lindland take a pair of free throws, trying to widen the cushion a bit for Bridgewater State. Lindland's first, knocks it down. This free throw shooting by Bridgewater State has made a huge difference. If they were shooting 58% today instead of closer to 80, this lead would only be 9 instead of 13 as Kelsey wins the rebound against Page. Still just a 13-point game with 4:55 left. Burston for Kelsey. Jordan looking for Edwards on the block against Page. Looking to turn, has to pull it out. Burston will give it over for Kelsey with 12. Raven looking to dribble, tries to go all the way, throws it up off the glass. Edwards fighting for the rebound against a pair of players, and DeSantis is going to be called for reaching in. Just really got her arms stuck with Edwards' arms around her and the ball. It's the fourth on Bridgewater State. The next foul on either side will lead to the double bonus. Burston turned the ball over on the last inbound. It's what Matthew was in charge of when she was in the game. Finds Jordan. Rivera thought about the three. Down low for Edwards, working the smaller to Silva. Has to pull it out for Burston. Takes a deep three, banks it in. It's a 10-point game. That was an NBA distance three, and Tajay Burston used the glass and the front of the rim to get that one to fall. DeSantis for Saucier. 4:05 to go. The Beacons as close as they've been since the opening quarter. Page working on Edwards. Looks for De Silva, the cutter. Now it's Saucier. Down low, wide open. Lindland too strong, and Jordan has the rebound. Don't go anywhere, folks. If you stuck with us this long, this could be a fun finish. Rivera moved her feet too quickly, called for the travel. It's been a case of the happy feet with UMass Boston in this one. Bridgewater State trying to break the press. DeSantis is fouled there by Kelsey, who throws her head down in frustration. And it'll be 2 free throws for DeSantis. Should be the 5th on the Beacons. And, well, they're going to say that's the 4th on the Beacons. Saucier on the inbound will find Page. Expect Bridgewater State to use the full 30 here, leading by 10. De Silva up top for DeSantis. Across for Saucier on Rivera. Finds De Silva. De Silva along two. Too strong, but no Beacon there to box out Lindland. There were 2 Bears in red jerseys and just Tajay Burston, the smallest player on the floor. An easy offensive board. Chance to kill us some more clock. Lindland, the handoff for Saucier. Both Beacons go with her. DeSantis, wide open 3. Too short, and Kelsey has the rebound. Bridgewater State has gone ice cold at the worst possible time. Jordan for Burston, and Christina Ball calls out instructions. Burston, a great crossover, dribble up with the left hand and finishes. It's an 8-point game. The Beacons within single digits for the first time since early in the first. DeSantis picks up the dribble over for Saucier, nearly stolen away by Page. Jordan gets a hand in, saves it, but can't keep it inbounds on the second effort. 20 on the shot clock, 2:37 left in the game, and the Beacons trying to pull off an epic comeback. They looked down and out for much of the second and third quarters. De Silva drives, has it stripped away into the hands of Lindland. DeSantis across for Saucier with 10 on the shot clock. Near side De Silva around Rivera, gets in the lane, it's stripped off her foot. The referees converse, and it is off of De Silva. Beautiful strip by Ariana Rivera. 2:22 to go. Next foul on either side will lead to the double bonus. So Rivera gets it into Burston, who will be allowed to walk this one across. Burston around a pair of screens, finds Kelsey. Kelsey with 20, over to Rivera working on Saucier. Rivera right back for Kelsey with 14. And we've got a moving screen on Katrina Edwards away from the ball. So because it's an offensive foul, it won't lead to the free throws, but it'll give the ball back to Bridgewater with precious seconds being able to tick off the clock. 2:04 to go. Bridgewater State easily able to break the press across for De Silva with Linlin falling to her butt. Rivera tried to strip it. Now it's Saucier for Linlin, and Bridgewater State will back it out. Into the corner for Page. The Beacons watching these precious seconds tick off. Still trail by 8. They need every second they can get. Saucier up top to Sandus looking for the killer. She's got it. Drains the 3 from the top of the key, and with 97 seconds left, the Beacons are going to need 3s and turnovers, and quite a few of them. There's no speed right now for the Beacons offense as Burston tries to set up. Burston looking to go all the way, throws it up with the right hand, no good. Edwards the rebound, she can't finish. Her second effort draws the foul. She'll have to hit both though. Minute 18 to go. There's not much time left in this one as the Beacons comeback started late in this fourth quarter. Trail by 20 or more for most of the second and third quarters. Edwards gets every part of the rim and it falls to cut it back to 10. It's a big rebound if Edwards misses the second. She's off. The rebound into the hands of Page. The Beacons called for the foul. It's Kelsey there. That's not the worst fouls. It didn't give up much time. Still a minute 15 to go, but they're going to need some misses from Bridgewater State. It'll be Rihanna Page to the line for 2. Fourth on Kelsey, who's picked up 3 of her 4 fouls here in the fourth quarter. UMass Boston's already lost Katie Matthew to 5 fouls. Page is first, in and out. See what she can do with the second. This Bridgewater State team came into this game shooting extremely poorly from the line. Shot very well, though, tonight. Page's second one rims in and out. Edwards the rebound. 10-point game, a minute 15 to go. The Beacons need a 3. Actually, they need a couple of them. Kelsey, a deep 3. Front rim, no good. DeSantis, the smallest player there, the rebound. And the Beacons are calling for the foul before the tie-up as the back referee was going for the tie-up. The near official calling for the foul. They'll call a tie-up. Either way, it's Bridgewater State ball, though. So it's not that much of a benefit to the Beacons. Now UMass Boston's going to have to go for the foul. They're not up far enough on this inbounds possession. They allowed DeSantis to grab it. Now they need to get the steal. DeSantis ahead for De Silva. She's met, gets it over for Saucier. Burston reached in and grabbed it, and they're going to call a foul. That was a soft ticky-tack foul. There's no question about it. Tajay Burston against a much bigger player went in for the ball, and I'd love to see that one again if we can grab it. There are a lot of questionable 50-50 calls, but in a game that this much physicality has been allowed, when the smallest player on the floor makes that little contact, that's a bit surprising. As Saucier hits the first to stretch it to 11. Bringing that highlight right now as you see Burston literally just going in. It looks like she gets both hands on the ball, maybe a bit of hit-to-hit contact. Saucier hits both, makes it a 12-point game. Burston into the front court. She'll give it over for Rivera. Rivera from 4 feet is fouled, and she'll head to the line for 2. At this point, it's just semantics. Not much time left. 47.1 seconds. Rivera is first. Uses every part of the rim and knocks it down. That foul was on Saucier, her second. Carter and White check out. Page is back on alongside De Silva as Bridget Casey goes a little bit of offense for defense. Rivera short on the second. Edwards the foul, takes a dribble off the glass, and the Beacons within 9. They were as close as 8 earlier. DeSantis going backwards here, finds Saucier, throws it ahead for Linland, and the Beacons need a foul here with 21 seconds, going for the steal still, and Jordan will finally give it up on Saucier. Stick with us after the game. We'll have an interview with head coach Christina Ball. We'll have the final stats. And then we'll have game 2 of our doubleheader, which will start just about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. The 2 men's basketball teams for these schools facing off. Start time no earlier than 7 p.m. Saucier hits both, pushing it back to 10 and pretty much icing this game. Start time apparently be a little bit later than 7 o'clock, already 6:52 here on the East Coast. Burston with 24 seconds, over for Rivera. She'll take a 3, knocks it down. Saucier asking and will be given a timeout. Take one final timeout here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. UMass Boston trailing by 7.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Page looking for a teammate, finds Lindland, the Beacons double teamer, and this time it's a very easy call. It's Kelsey and Edwards both gave contact. This could be the 5th on Kelsey. It'll be the 4th on Edwards instead. Jenny Lindland's first, knocks it down. She's had a very good game. First team all-conference player from a year ago, came in averaging just 5 points a game. She had 17 through the first 3 quarters, easily over 20. Hits both, and the Beacons will call another timeout. We'll stay with it. Folks, we'll take a look at the Beacons' upcoming schedule one last time. UMass Boston will stay at home this Saturday. Take on Rhode Island College at 1 p.m. We'll have the pregame show starting at 12:45. Then they're at Plymouth State on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. And next Saturday at home against the reigning conference champions, a rematch of last year's conference tournament championship game, and in fact the year before's as well. The Beacons and Warriors have faced off in each of the last 2 title games. The Warriors defeating the Beacons in each of those games. 2 years ago, it was actually in overtime. .9 left. The Beacons mounted a comeback. It just wasn't quite enough. Burst in for Rivera, takes it deep. 3, front rim, no good. Gets her on rebound. The runner too strong. Rebound into the hands of DeSantis, and the Beacons will give one last foul. So they'll make the long march down the court. It'll be the 5th on either Edwards or Kelsey. Both players were there. No, they're going to give a timeout. Timeout Bridgewater State. We'll take a commercial with them, and then we'll be back for the final 8.8 of regulation.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
DeSantis to inbound one final time. She finds Linland, and Kelsey gives her 5th foul. It's a similar script to what's been written on about the last 5 to 6 defensive possessions from the Beacons. This game is stretched out close to the 7 o'clock hour. Kelsey will check out with her 5th foul, and Alicia Quinones will be on the court for the final 7.8 seconds. Chance for Jenny Linland to stretch out what has easily been a season best game, if not career best. Her previous season high had been 11 points versus Trinity. She had more than that through 3 quarters. Misses both free throws. Quinones the rebound. Down to 5 seconds into the front court. Jordan chucks up a 3 well off the mark, and Jenny Linland will grab the rebound. That'll do it for game number 1. We'll take a commercial break, bring you an interview with head coach Christina Baugh and an abbreviated postgame, as game number 2 will start in just about 20 minutes here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I'm Alexa Capion. I'm from Messina, New York. I'm a junior on the women's ice hockey team, and I'm an exercise health science major. But when I got here, I met Coach Harris, and I saw the facility, and I met a couple of the girls on the team, and I pretty much got a feel of the program, and I knew right away that this is where I wanted to go to school. We have all league games for the rest of the year, so that's going to be a huge test for us. We need those points to hopefully come out with a good standing for playoffs. A couple of highlights from the last couple of years that I've been playing was probably last year when we won our first Codfish Bowl. We made history that year. I was really excited to be part of that. I don't have very many goals, but when I do score, it's definitely a big deal.
That's a goal.
For the past 3 years, we've had Emily. She is a member of the Team Impact program, and that's for children with illnesses that want to be part of a collegiate program. She's great. She comes and watches all of our games. She has her own jersey. She has her own stick. We've got her all this equipment. It's really awesome to have. She gives us a lot of motivation, and she comes in the locker room and talks to us before games, and it's really cool to have her here and be part of our team. When I graduate, I definitely want to go to graduate school, most likely for either athletic training or physical therapy. Our trainers here have definitely given me an insight about what it takes to be an athletic trainer. They're always on top of everything. They always know how to help us and what to do and what not to do. They're always there for us when we need them, and that's given me a lot of help with what I could be doing after I graduate, so that's nice to have them.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Come on, Jake.
ways, and as usual, she wins it. A chance in front. Her shot is in the net. Crystal Layden, yet another goal.
Please make a gift to the Beacon Athletic Fund today. We want you on our team.
In court level with head coach Christina Ball. Coach, your team struggled to get back into it. Finally, the fourth quarter, you seem to gain some momentum. How do you carry that over into Saturday, looking for a better start against the conference opponent?
Man, that's $1 million question, Seth. We got to get back to the drawing board and just get back to Beacon basketball, which is blue collar, hard nosed, and earning everything we get. We didn't do that tonight. We didn't deserve to win this game tonight. And in the last 3 games, we've played really hard for 1 quarter, and it can't be just because we score. We got to get more excited about defending and rebounding.
One player who's really seen the found her scoring stroke is the senior Chantel Jordan, 25 today, a new career high. What has Chantel done from last year to this year to become a scoring threat?
Just confidence, man. You know, I told her last year, I think it really turned the corner for her. She had to do 3 things: defend the best player, make mid-range jumpers, and offensive rebound. And I think once she was able to focus on smaller details, it really excelled her to be able to just focus on those things.
Thanks so much for your time, Coach. Better luck on Saturday. We'll head back up top right now and take a look at the highlights from those 3rd and 4th quarters, and then we'll wrap up on the Beacons Broadcast Network. The 3. Able to get it over to Kelsey, although just barely. Kelsey pulls up from 6 feet and knocks down the baseline jumper. The Beacons coaching staff shouting out instructions down low for Illabodi, able to finish with such a screen from Lindley, looking to go all the way. The foul comes from Illabodi and no count. What an answer for Rivera. The Beacons trailing by 21. Kelsey takes the 3 and knocks it down. The Beacons. Edwards from the elbow up top. Rivera will try a 3, drains it for Matthew. Cross for Kelsey. Kelsey looking to drive up and under, puts it in. Matthew, double team, kicks it out, wide open. Rivera for 3, give it to her. Edwards working the smaller to Silva, has to pull it out for Burston, takes a deep 3, banks it in. Christina Ball calls out instructions. Burston, a great crossover, dribble up with the left hand and finishes. They can get Saucier up top to Sandus, looking for the killer. She's got it. She's met, gets it over for Saucier. Burston reached it. Thanks for sticking with us. Right now, we'll take a look at the team statistics from this one. Rather, the team leaders first. Chantel Jordan, a career high 25. On the other side, Jenny Lindland had 22. 20 for DeSantis. UMass Boston had a pair of players with 10 rebounds. It was Raven Kelsey and Katrina Edwards with 10 each. Kelsey finishing with a double-double of 14 points, 10 rebounds. 14 points also for Ariana Rivera off the bench. Katie Matthew did not have her best of games, but did finish with a game-high 6 assists. On the other side, Chelsea Saucier had 5 assists to go along with their 9 points and 7 rebounds. Right now, we'd like to take a moment to thank our production crew. Alex Carasoto and Gigi Braga, your directors. Alyssa Hatchie on Instant Replay. My name is Seth Orensky, your producer and play-by-play guy. Chris Fowler, Tim Murphy, and Lauren Mitziaris on camera. That'll do it for game number 1. We'll be back online in just about 5 minutes with game number 2 as the UMass Boston and Bridgewater State men's basketball teams face off here at the Clark. Hello, folks, and welcome into the Clark Athletic Center. If you're just joining us, welcome. Otherwise, thanks for coming back for game number 2 between UMass Boston and Bridgewater State. Got a good one for you in game number 2. The Beacons at 7-4, Bridgewater State at 7-5. Last year, this was an instant classic, a double overtime affair in which Bridgewater State was able to slip past UMass Boston. They closed the game on an 8-1 run as Bridgewater State finished that one with an 83-76 victory. Both teams coming off losses in non-conference play on Tuesday to start 2017. It was UMass Boston losing in overtime at Regis, Bowdoin defeating Bridgewater State at Bridgewater State by an 88-81 score. Let's take a look right now at our player to watch for UMass Boston. It's the freshman point guard out of Salem, Massachusetts, Alex Sanchez. He's had a very strong first year with the Beacons, second on the team in assists and steals, fourth in points. He did struggle against Regis, so we're looking for a bounce-back game out of Alex. He's one of 3 freshman starters in today's starting lineup. Dason Sinelli getting his first collegiate start. Take a look at the all-time series. The Beacons lead it, but it's very close. A 17-16 all-time advantage. Bridgewater State's won 3 in a row. The last time the Beacons won was 3 years ago here at home with Dontrell D-Train Thomas hitting a tip-in with 2 seconds to go to give the Beacons a 72-71 win. A year ago in that 83-76 loss, both teams hit game-tying threes very late. It was Greg Ramonko for Bridgewater State to tie it in regulation. Maurice McGrath for UMass Boston late in overtime number 1 before Bridgewater State pulled away in the second OT. Take a look at the team statistics. Bridgewater State and UMass Boston both scoring at a pretty good clip. Bridgewater State, before their 2-game losing streak they're currently sitting in, they were averaging 93.5 points per game during a 4-game winning streak that included them scoring a program record 121 points in a win over Maine Augusta. Both teams shooting the ball pretty well. One area to watch, the rebounding margin. The Beacons over plus 2 rebounds per game. Bridgewater State minus 1.8. This team Bridgewater State is very good at getting to the free throw line. They're top 25 in the country in both made free throws and attempted free throws, but they're in the bottom 20 in the country in three-point field goal percentage, so that's an area the Beacons could make their living at today. The Beacons on the other side, top 35 in the country in offensive rebounds, steals, and turnovers forced per contest. Take a look at the team leaders. For UMass Boston, it all starts with Sam Freeman. The senior forward out of Boston leads the team in points and field goal percentage, second in rebounds, and leads the team in blocks. Dan Powers, coming off the bench today, leads the team in 3-point field goal percentage and rebounds. And Ty Lee, the other freshman point guard, tops on the team and top 5 in the conference in assists. On the other side, it's Fawaz Mass, all-conference returnee, a first-team all-conference player a year ago for Bridgewater, averaged 15 points a year, 15 points per game a year ago. This year he's up to 19.1 points, shooting 46% from the field, 38% from distance. Patrick McGinnis, who's not available for today's game, the team's top field goal shooter. He's missing his 4th consecutive game, we assume. He's missed the last 3, had started the first 9. Mass, as we mentioned, good from distance. Rocky DeAndre is very, very good at the point guard position. Tops on the team in assists per game and assists per turnover at nearly 2 assists to every 1 turnover. He's also very good from the line. And the team's top rebounder on a team that does not rebound particularly well, Joseph Carty, the junior out of Natick, Mass., the second-team all-conference player as a sophomore. Right now we'll take a look at the 2 teams' head coaches. For Bridgewater State, it's Joe Faroba, a legend here in New England. He was inducted into the New England Basketball Hall of Fame back in 2015. 4-time MASCAC Coach of the Year, a career record of 360 and 300. He's made 6 trips to the NCAA tournament, including winning 5 in a row a couple years ago. Most recently, they made it to the NCAA tournament in 2014. He actually graduated from Boston State. For those of you who don't know, Boston State was the precursor to UMass Boston. The 2 schools merged, and eventually it just became UMass Boston. Right now, we'll take a look at UMass Boston's head coach, a little bit younger, a little bit still learning the job a bit more. Jason Harris, the Beacons' second-year head coach, 13-23 overall. He's led the Beacons to their much better start than in year one when he went 6-19. He'll take on his alma mater on Saturday against Rhode Island College. Right now, we'll take a look at the team's starters. One surprise on both sides. Rocky DeAndre will be in the backcourt with Keon Armstrong. Armstrong, a senior guard out of Brockton, Mass. He's making just his third start of the year. He's been a super sub this season, averaging 10.3 points, 3.2 rebounds per game. Joined out there by Greg Ramonko, one of the 4 captains on this year's team, a senior forward out of Mansfield, Mass., averaging 7.8 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. Fawaz Mass, the team's top scorer, a senior guard at 6'1", 185. And then Michael Soares, senior forward out of Milton, Mass., who made his first start of the season against Bowdoin on Tuesday. He's averaging 4.2 points and 3.1 rebounds. For the Beacons, there's one big change as well. Alex Sanchez and Ty Lee, the 2 freshman point guards who have been playing together for most of the season. It's Dason Sinelli getting his first collegiate start. Sinelli, a freshman guard out of Boston, had come off the bench in each of the team's first 11 games. Comes into this one with 33 points on 13 of 22 shooting, 25 rebounds, and 7 assists. He'll be out there with Sam Freeman averaging just under 20 points per game. And Kareem Kirksey, the senior transfer out of MCLA in his first year at the Beacons, senior guard out of Dorchester, Mass., is averaging 9.7 points, 9.6 points, 4.6 rebounds, and shooting just under 46%, as you see Jason Harris there on your screen, the Beacons' second-year head coach. Teams are ready, and so are we. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing the action here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. It'll be Freeman jumping against Soares, who makes sure to get a dap from every player out there. Michael Soares showing his friendliness. Bridgewater State in the road red with the black numbers and white trim. The Beacons in the home whites with the blue numbers and white trim. The Beacons win the opening tap. It's Sanchez up top for Sinelli, who sports the blonde tips. Lee down low for Freeman, working on Soares. The turnaround fadeaway knocks it down. Freeman has an arsenal of moves at his disposal. He had a huge game against Tufts, scoring nearly 30 points in a win over a Tufts team that was ranked in the top 5 at that point. Ball controlled here by Fawaz Mass, the top scorer for Bridgewater. Soares will hand it off for Mass, pulls up over the smaller Lee, and he answers Freeman's early volley with one of his own. 2-2 in the opening 45 seconds. A little bit full court pressure from Bridgewater. Lee ahead for Kirksey. Freeman was alone down low. Will take one dribble, loses it. Now he goes up with the right hand, too strong. Sinelli the offensive board, and he'll dribble out. Dason has incredible athleticism, still working on his shot at the collegiate level. But he's a spark plug, and the Beacons will bring 2 of their better players off the bench, Dan Powers and Iser Barnes. Sanchez looking for Kirksey. Knocked off the hands of Mass and out of bounds. Bridgewater opening this one in a 2-3 zone defense with Soares in the middle. Mass to his right and Ramonko to his left. Lee up top for Sinelli. Now to Sanchez. The Beacons with 3 freshmen and 2 seniors in the starting lineup. Lee for Freeman, deep 2 from the corner. Give him 4 points early on. On the other side, Bridgewater State starting 3 seniors and 2 juniors, just as they've done all season long. 4 of their starters had started every game prior to today. Got a foul there on Sanchez, working against Rocky DeAndre. First foul on Sanchez, first on the Beacons. Joseph Carty had started the team's first 12 games, but he's coming off the bench today in favor of Keon Armstrong. DeAndre thought about a deep 3. Now he's being double-teamed. Finds Ramonko all the way across and back down low for Soares. Good ball movement. Soares well off the mark. Offensive rebound. 13 on the shot clock. DeAndre a little bit short on the 3 and an offensive board again. This time into the hands of Armstrong. New 30 on the clock. It's Armstrong floating across for Ramonko, and he's called for the double dribble as he was dribbling past Dason Sinelli. 4-2 UMass Boston in the early going. 17:48 left in half number one. Beacons looking to snap a 3-game losing streak against Bridgewater State and a 1-game losing streak overall. Bridgewater State trying to tie up the all-time series at 17, snap a 2-game losing streak. Every team in tonight's doubleheader came into this game off a loss. Lee for Kirksey as the Beacons try to dissect this 2-3 zone. To the near side, Sanchez along 2. He's a bit too strong. Kirksey off the putback and easily puts it home. No one got a body on him. DeAndre has to be slowed down by Sinelli. Looks to go all the way, lays it out, wide open Mass. He'll kick it out, extra pass for Armstrong. And Bridgewater State cuts the deficit to 1 at 6-5.
And I know how powerful words can be.
Good tempo to start this contest. Kirksey over to Freeman, right back. Cream not a big-time three-point shooter. Looked for Freeman, and it's off of Sam's foot and out of bounds. Play with media timeouts here at the Clark, so first stoppage under 16 minutes will lead to a timeout, and then the first stoppage after the 12-minute, 8-minute, and 4-minute marks of both halves. Jason Harris, former assistant coach at LIU Brooklyn, a Division I school, preferring that look as Sanchez tips it out of bounds after the Beacons turn it over. 28 on the shot clock. Joe Faroba calling out instructions. Faroba joined on the bench by associate head coach Mike Donovan as Mass passed up the shot. Now he gives it to Soares, nearly stripped by Kirksey. Back out top for DeAndre. Then he has a slew of assistants as there's a long three from DeAndre. Back-to-back triples for Bridgewater State to take an 8-6 lead. Bob DeBerry, Chris Perrin, Brian Robenskis, and David Wallace. The Beacons have 4 assistants of their own. Adam Blake, Jamie Morrison, Matt Adams, and Quadric Allen. A lot of voices calling out instructions tonight. Kirksey looking for Freeman. Freeman was cemented on the far post. Kirksey was hoping he'd come to the near post. And we'll see Sanchez head to the bench with Iser Barnes back in. Beacons will go with some full court pressure. 3 players in the front court. Ball ahead for Ramonko, looking for Soares, working on the smaller Sinelli and Barnes. Kicks it out for Mass, who hasn't scored since the opening possession. Now it's Soares who gets stripped. It's a jump ball. It'll stay with Bridgewater after the mini timeout. We'll take a break along with the teams. It's Bridgewater out to an early 8-6 advantage with 15:48 to go in half number one.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Two-point Bears lead at the first media timeout. Looking at that last timeout for UMass Boston against Regis, the Beacons had a chance to win it in regulation. Ty Lee had a layup go in and out at the buzzer, and then Regis able to finish the game on a nice little run of 8-1 over the final 148. Snapped a run in which the Beacons have won 4 of 5. Mass into the corner for Ramonko. Same 5 out there for both teams. Soares a long 2. Drains it with the foot on the line.
Gave him a 3 on that. I don't know how that was a 3 as he was inside the line when he jumped, but they're putting up on the scoreboard and the referees are indicating that it was in fact a 3. He jumped backwards. Sinelli picks up the dribble over to Kirksey. Back to Sinelli. The Beacons struggling to get it to Freeman in this 2-3 zone. Kirksey stripped and a chance to get it ahead for Mass, who goes off his own knee and out of bounds. And Jason Harris is making that same argument right now. There is no way that that was a 3-point shot. But it's up on the scoreboard, and the referee still arguing that it was a 3. UMass Boston will bring Dan Powers on in favor of Dason Sinelli. Kareem Kirksey for Sam Freeman being guarded by Soares. Tried to one-hand pass it over to Lee. Powers comes over to pick up the loose ball. Down to 10 seconds. Powers for Barnes. Takes the baseline jumper well short. Rebound into the hands of Ramonko. UMass Boston does not seem comfortable right now against the 2-3 zone. DeAndre for Mass. The smaller Lee working against him. DeAndre trying to get to his favorite left hand. Nearly lost the dribble. Now he spins back to the left side. DeAndre working on Kirksey. Nice little battle behind the back dribble. Over for Ramonko. Over the longer Freeman. Drains it. Sam Freeman with a strong closeout, but it wasn't enough. Bridgewater State, they're on a run. They lead 14-6. It forces the Beacons timeout, and we'll take one with them. 14:07 to go. Bridgewater State out to their largest lead of the game at 8.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Ty Lee, Iser Barnes, Kareem Kirksey, Sam Freeman, and Dan Powers out of the timeout for the Beacons, looking to get some offense going. Freeman had an early 4. He's been frustrated even getting touches ever since. Powers for Lee, looking to drive, tries to go down low, off the foot there of Barnes. And the Beacons turn it over again. UMass Boston will send Neil Cesar and Alex Sanchez to the scorer's table, maybe looking for a little bit of three-point shooting to stretch out the zone. Mass over Kirksey, front rim no good. Fighting in there and grabbing the rebound is Soares, throwing it all the way out off the hands of Barnes. A no-look pass that finds its way to Mass and over to DeAndre. 20 on the new shot clock, 13:20 in the game. Barnes pestering Mass, who will give it off for Soares, the center, who's almost like a point center at this point. Nice dribbling from Armstrong, the fadeaway, no good. Kirksey with the rebound. Kirksey over for Barnes and now Lee. Freeman asking for it. Powers will chuck up a 3, drains it. And that cuts a long scoreless drought for UMass Boston, cutting the deficit to 14-9. Bridgewater State's kept this starting 5 out the entire way, almost through 8 minutes thus far. Do have a pretty small roster. DeAndre over for Armstrong with 6. Normally one of the team's top options off the bench. Soares out to Ramonko, needs to throw it up. Too strong and the rebound loose. Freeman couldn't get it over Soares. Mass the rebound, puts it in on the second chance. Freeman might have been being held there by Soares, no call. Lee through the double team, he lost the ball, but they're going to call the foul on the attempted strip. Bails out the Beacons. We'll see Sanchez, Cesar, and Sinelli check in for the 3 smallest players on the floor for the Beacons, Kirksey, Lee, and Barnes. Powers and Freeman, the Beacons' 2 senior big men, will stay on. They've combined for 7 of the Beacons' first 9. Sanchez looking to get his way through. The floater puts it in with the left hand. Beautiful little work there from Alex Sanchez. That last foul was on Mass, his first, team's first. Just 2 fouls total through the opening couple minutes. Sanchez gets his hands on it and able to come away with the steal. Alex looking to drive past the left hand lay-in, drops off the front rim. He's got 4 in a row. The Beacons' deficit is 3. Next whistle will take us to immediate timeout. The Beacons have woken up a bit. Soares for DeAndre, being guarded by Sinelli. Sinelli trips up DeAndre, no call. Mass all the way to the hoop, draws the contact. It was like a bullet heading to the rim there, and it was difficult to slow him down. That'll be immediate timeout. We'll get to the name on the sub for Bridgewater State after the break. UMass Boston trails 16-13.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Make sure to follow along with UMass Boston Athletics on social media. We've got an Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube account at UMass Beacons. Beacons currently trailing 16-13 as we'll see if Fawaz Mass go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul was called on Sanchez. It could have been called on any of 4 Beacons who tried to slow down Mass on his way to the hole. It's 2 now on Alex Sanchez. Both of the Beacons' fouls called against their freshman point guard, who had just scored 4 points in a row. For Bridgewater State, a pair of substitutes into the game. Bryant Grant, a freshman guard out of Hyde Park, Mass, not too far out of Boston. Attended Catholic Memorial High School, making his 9th appearance. Averages just 9.6 minutes per game as Mass hits his first free throw. 23 points on the year, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. The other new addition is Rayshawn Ward, the freshman forward out of Plymouth, Mass. Plymouth North High School, making his 12th appearance, averages 9.2 minutes a game. He's got 22 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists on the year. Powers will pull up from 4 feet, front rim no good, and an athletic board into the hands of Soares. 18-13 after the pair of free throws made by Mass. For the Beacons, they'll go with Neil Cesar, Dan Powers, and Sam Freeman, 3 of their seniors, along with Dason Sinelli and Ty Lee, 2 freshmen. Controlled there by Ward, looking to drive baseline left hand, can't get the layup to fall. Lee looking at his options, a sea of red in front of him, over to Powers, being guarded closely by Grant. Lee looking for help against this 2-3 zone. Sinelli into the corner for Powers. Freeman struggled with the catch, goes up and under, can't finish on the one-hand slam. Would have been a highlight reel play by Sam Freeman, but he couldn't quite get enough elevation. Armstrong from the baseline, no good. Powers the rebound. The Beacons are not able to leak out in transition, though. Bridgewater State doing a good job of getting back. Corner 3 from Cesar, too strong. And the rebound into the hands of Armstrong. Mass around Sinelli all the way in with the left hand. A pretty finish from Fawaz Mass, senior out of Taunton. He's hit double-digit points in every game. In fact, 13 or more in every game. He's reached the 20-point mark 6 times, including 28 against Greensboro down in North Carolina. Bridgewater State had a pretty cool opportunity. They practiced at Duke University while they were down in North Carolina. It'll be Ramonko checking back in for Soares, and Deandrade checking back in for Fawaz Massey will take a seat. Bridgewater State leading by 7. Armstrong over for Ward, who throws it up off the glass to the left hand. Rayshawn Ward, 6'7", 195. He is a long man. He's also the tallest man on the floor by a lot with Freeman on the bench. It stands at 6'5". Kirksey saves it into the backcourt, and it's over and back for the Beacons. Freeman will check back in. Beacons trailing by 9, largest deficit of the night, looking to avoid a doubleheader sweep at the hands of Bridgewater State. Bridgewater State held off a late Beacons comeback bid to defeat the Beacons by double figures. Armstrong, brilliant play to the basket, scoops it in with the right hand, can't finish. See, easily was able to blow by Sinelli there, who got caught on the drive. Kirksey back for Lee with 20 on the shot clock. Cross for Barnes, thought about the three, ball fakes. Over to Lee, looking to drive in, over the taller Ward, way too strong. Freeman the rebound, gets fouled and one. Freeman, who had not scored since the opening 2 minutes, is now sitting on 6 points. I'll have a chance to make it 7. First foul on Greg Ramonko, second on the team. There's 2 fouls apiece here with 8:43 to go in the first half. Freeman, the big man, knocks down the free throw to cut the deficit to 6. He's got 7 overall on the season, shooting 76% from the free throw line on a team-high 50 attempts. After the kickball out of bounds, it'll stay with Bridgewater State. Fawaz Mass back into the game for Armstrong. Wide open Mass, and he'll take the 3 from the top of the key. It's almost as if Isaac Barnes was just challenging him to take it, and Mass thought about it. Why not? Able to knock down the triple. Stretches the lead to 25-16. Sinelli looking to drive in. Over Ramonko, who got a piece of it. And now it's DeAndre has the trailer in Grant. Instead, he takes it himself and finishes over Lee. 27-16, largest lead of the game for Bridgewater State at 11. Next stoppage will be immediate timeout. The Beacons might need it to figure things out. Sinelli nearly has it stolen away by Grant. The out of bounds will get that timeout right here. Bridgewater State leads by 11 here at the Clark Athletic Center.
Left, right, left, left, right, left. Left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, left. Oh, come on now, all together now, don't stop. On the road now, sound off.
(27-16), 7:54 to go in the half. It'll be Beacons ball out of the timeout. They'll go with Cesar, Kirksey, Freeman, Lee, and Sinelli. Bridgewater State, DeAndrade, Grant, Mass, Ramonko, and Ward. It's interesting. Ward's at 6'7", but they use Ramonko in the middle of that 2-3 zone. Sinelli and Lee back and forth. Neither are particularly good three-point shooters. Kirksey from the baseline over the double team with 3 on the shot clock. Sinelli's going to have to chuck it up. He's too strong. Rebound loose, tipped up and controlled by Mass. Mass ahead of the pack looking for Ward. Sinelli got a hand on it. Ward able to grab it nonetheless and put it in. 13-point Bears lead. It's been a very Bridgewater State tinted night thus far. Sinelli looking to drive right through Ramonko for a charge as the basket won't count. Dason called for his first team's third. He'll head to the bench along with Ty Lee. So Ramonko got there in time. Grant will check out in favor of Soares. A little bit of pressure from Sanchez back out there with his 2 fouls on Andrade. Ward to Mass being worked by Cesar. Now it's Ward working against Powers on the far block. They're going to call Dan Powers for the jostling there. First on Dan, fourth on the Beacons. Jason Harris having words with the official on the far side. Tonight's officials, Eric Brito, Julian Scott, and Hakeem Dixon. DeAndrade, a deep 3, drains it. Got a pick to free him up from Alex Sanchez and then hit a deep one. Bridgewater State is doubling up UMass Boston at this point, 32-16. Sanchez for Kirksey. I don't think the Beacons have hit a 3 at this point. Bridgewater State's hit at least 3, if not more. Freeman can't catch the entry pass. Went off through his hands and off his shoulder. And Ward will easily bring it across half court. Ward over for DeAndrade as the Beacons, 4 assistants, talk it over, trying to figure something out. They'll send 2 players farther down the bench, Mohana Gabor and William Butts in. DeAndrade up top for Ramonko, wide open. Moss, not the guy you want wide open. He misses this one though. Sanchez drips it off for Powers, looking for his second 3. No good. Kirksey the rebound over a Bridgewater State player. Freeman's tip falls. Freeman's got 9 of the Beacons' 18. UMass Boston does have 1 3, as Gabor and Butts will head back to the scorer's table after that tip. Sanchez all the way to the tin, can't finish, but draws the foul on Soares. As Bridgewater State never picked him up in transition. It's the 3rd on Bridgewater State. We'll see Alex Sanchez, our player to watch, take a pair of free throws. Came into this one shooting 66.7% from the free throw line. He's got 4 points here in half number 1. Averages just under 10 a game. Give him 5 now on the night. Isaac Barnes checks back in for Neil Cesar. Sanchez gets both. He's got 6 now. Bit of full court pressure. Ramonko over for Soares. No one has him. Cross for DeAndrade, who can't make the catch. And the Beacons force the turnover with the half court pressure. Sanchez works around a Freeman screen, looking for Kirksey. Ramonko uses his wingspan and knocked it out of bounds. .23 on the shot clock, 5:08 to go in the first half. Sanchez for Kirksey, corner 3, no good. Ramonko the rebound, and Bridgewater State looking to break out. Mass will slow it down. Long 3 from DeAndrade, another one. He's got at least 3 from straight away, and that'll force the Beacons timeout. UMass Boston, the team that we expected to be shooting well from 3 against the team that has struggled all season to defend the 3. Instead, it's Bridgewater State who's been draining them. It's a 15-point advantage for Bridgewater State as we take a break along with the teams.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered
You
in
see the
myself
deep
is
three
that
there out of the timeout from DeAndrade. Just sort of catapulted that one up. The Beacons will now bring in Mohamed Gabor, the freshman, and William Butts, the junior. Two players pretty far down their rotation. Ty Lee's going to check in for Sanchez. It'll be Barnes, Lee, Powers, Gabor, and Butts. Butts saw time against Regis on Tuesday. Hasn't seen a lot of action this year as Gabor's going to take a triple. Floats that one up off the glass, no good. Powers tried to knock the rebound out for Gabor, but picked up by DeAndrade. Mohamed out of Arlington, Mass. His 7th appearance, 29 total minutes, as DeAndrade is putting on a clinic. He's got another 3. William Butts, a junior forward out of Stoneham, Mass, making just his 5th appearance. 13 total minutes prior to tonight. Beacons trailing by 18 with 4 minutes to go in the half. Controlled up top by Lee over for Gabor. Powers inside the 2-3 zone. Up with the left hand. A nice little shovel shot. The Beacons trail by 16. Rombanco's going to try his hand at a deep triple. Bit too strong there, and Lee with the rebound. Lee finds Barnes up and under, too strong, gets his own rebound, puts it up a second time. Icer able to connect, and the deficit is a pair of touchdowns. Mass working on Barnes. They make contact, and Icer's called for the foul there. It's Icer's first, team's 5th. And that'll cause immediate timeout. We'll get a stoppage for the final time here in half number 1, perhaps. It's a 14-point Bridgewater State lead.
I hope you're all ready to work. Because no one's getting by on skill alone. We're looking for the people with the bigger hearts. The people that don't give up when things start getting tough. If you're willing to pay the price, if you do things the right way, if you take it and you leave it all out there, if you do all that, you'll get noticed.
Out of the immediate timeout, it's Romanco up top for Mass. And just enough contact there by Barnes to knock Mass off of his center of gravity and cause the foul. So that's 6 now on the Beacons, 2 on Barnes. The next one will lead to the 1-and-1. DeAndrade being guarded by Barnes, who all of a sudden has 2 fouls. One right before the immediate timeout, one right after. Moss back up top. Fawaz working on Lee, throws it up. The basket won't count. They're going to call an offensive foul. A little bit of contact with Ty Lee. Second foul on Mass. Just the 4th on the Bears. So no chance of the Beacons shooting free throws on a foul anytime soon. Big block from the player just onto the floor. That's Mike Whitaker. Coach calls him Big Mike. Long three from Armstrong, no good. Whitaker, 6'8", 205 out of Bredgarten, Switzerland. Armstrong to the floor, gets it over to Whitaker. And now in transition, it's Mass running into a Beacon. Fighting down low, we're going to get a reach in on the Beacons. And it'll be Ramonko shooting the 1-and-1. First foul on Ty Lee. 7th overall on the Beacons. Romanko to the line for the 1-and-1. Knocks it down. Whitaker, the junior out of Bredgarten, Switzerland, 6'8", 205, making his 7th appearance. He's played in just 22 minutes this season. 14.7 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks. He's appeared in 3 consecutive games now. Not a big-time scorer, just 3 points in each of his last 2 games. He's called for the over and back there on Powers. But if you're a Division III team and have a 6'8" guy coming off the bench who's at least semi-athletic, which he's already shown, you have a tremendous advantage on a lot of teams. The Beacons don't go bigger than 6'5". Part of that's on purpose. They like playing small and fast, but Whitaker certainly is a nice piece. Barnes leaving it off for Lee. Lee to the free throw line. Out to Powers looking for a triple. No good. Kirksey and Barnes fighting for the rebound. And it's picked up by Romanko, who just steps out of bounds. Faroba looking for the foul. There was no contact. Iser Barnes was underneath of Romanko, but all Romanko had to do was drop the ball into Barnes. It would have been Bridgewater State ball. Instead, he just stepped out himself. Powers for Kirksey around Romanko up top. Barnes looking for a triple straight away. Gets it. And the Beacons are within 12. DeAndrade picks up the dribble. Throws it across for Armstrong. Now it's Grant working against Barnes, who takes it away. And Barnes is ahead of the pack. Barnes with Grant right on him. Barnes has 5 in a row. The Beacons back to within 10. Nice little answer from the Beacons, who have trailed by as many as 15. Not a little bit more. Armstrong will call timeout in the front court, and the Beacons hop off their bench. 1:25 to go. All of a sudden, the Beacons close to being right back in this game. We'll take a break. Remember to stick with us at halftime. We'll have an interview with Jason Harris, along with highlights from the last Beacons home game, a 74-60 win over Suffolk.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Grant working with the ball in front of the Beacons bench. Gets a screen there from Whitaker. The Beacons thought they had a travel. Instead, it's Bridgewater with 8. DeAndrade has a couple triples and instead finds Whitaker down low, who's stripped by Lee. They're going to give the foul. The second on Ty Lee, 8th on the Beacons. And we'll see Whitaker go to the line looking for his first points. He's 2 for 4 on the year from the free throw line. Big lefty. A little bit too strong on the first. Mike's second is perfect. And it's back to an 11-point lead with 1:07 to go. See Lee head to the bench with 2 fouls. Dason Sinelli back in. Barnes will man the point with the 2 freshman point guards on the bench. Powers down low, works with the left hand, easily draws the foul on, no, they're going to call Armstrong for it, as Powers was able to get around Whitaker. And I believe they're going to call a shooting foul, as that's only the 6th on Bridgewater State. So Armstrong gets his first, and we'll see Dan Powers take a pair. Powers, the senior out of Westwood, Mass. Averaging 11.3 points and 8.5 rebounds per game. Third in the conference, shooting 41.5% from distance. Knocks down both to cut the deficit to 9. 1 point, the Beacons were being outscored 32-16. Right now, they're on a 15-8 run. Mass around the screen, far side for Armstrong, who's called for the double dribble. 42 seconds left. The Beacons could go for the 2-for-1 here and potentially make this a 2-possession game, even fewer, heading into half number 2. Barnes doesn't look to be in a hurry, though, working against this 2-3 zone. 11-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Ball tipped out of bounds by Ramonko. 16 on the shot clock, 27.6 left overall. Inbounds to come from the near sideline. Powers up top for Barnes. Picks up the dribble, back for Powers. Freeman working down to the block against Whitaker in the middle. Barnes all the way through. He stripped of the ball as he went up. And Whitaker is going to pick up the foul. Joe Faroba and his staff can't believe it. Be the second on Whitaker, 7th overall. So any fouls in the last 18.9 seconds on Bridgewater State that aren't offensive fouls would lead to the 1-and-1. Barnes hits the first to cut it to 8 and makes the second. Only a 7-point deficit. I think Jason Harris will be somewhat happy with that, the way this game was looking at one point. DeAndrade with Ted looking for the final shot, working on Sinelli. Gets around him looking for the triple. A little bit too strong, rebound loose. Sinelli can't handle it. Ramonko throws it up with the right hand, no good. And it's out of bounds as the half ends. We'll take a commercial break and then head down low with an interview with head coach Jason Harris.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Joined by head coach Jason Harris at the break. Coach, it was at one point 32-16. You were getting up. Obviously, those threes aren't going to fall all game long, but what do you need to do defensively to slow down their offense?
Well, those threes will fall all game long because they're good shooters, and we're doing a really crap job right now of contesting on the threes. We have 10 turnovers, giving up 8 threes, giving up 6 offensive rebounds. I mean, these are all effort stats, and after coming off a loss, we can't have these things. So play harder, Seth. Play harder.
Offensively, the 2-3 seemed to give you a little bit of problems early, especially since the threes weren't falling. What are you looking to do in the second half?
Again, it starts with our defense. If we're taking the ball out of the net, it's hard to run. We got to get stops, we got to get rebounds, and then we got to be able to run so that we don't give them time to set up the two. You know, right now this game's being played at their pace, and, you know, that's not good for us, so we're going to go rip them a little bit here. We're going to try to, you know, kick a sleeping dog and see what we can get from them. I don't know, Seth. I got to go. Sorry.
Nice, Coach. We'll head back up top. We'll see if the Beacons have a different effort in half number 2.
Imagine yourself at one of fewer than 300 prestigious research universities in the country, located on a peninsula overlooking the Boston Harbor, just minutes from downtown Boston. Imagine what it would be like to be a student here.
I imagine myself succeeding in the business world.
I imagine taking advantage of all the clinical opportunities in Boston.
Want to go into the police force for a little bit and ultimately end up either working for the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of ICE.
I imagine studying biology, working hand in hand with the professor.
There are many reasons students are attracted to UMass Boston. Just imagine the opportunity to participate in research, live and learn in Boston, and to experience true diversity.
Our researchers have expanded the research enterprise admirably over the last decade. They have engaged in important environmental stewardship. They are at the frontiers of the life sciences and public health.
Being in Boston is a huge advantage, not just to someone like me who's a researcher, but actually to our students.
I started working for Dr. McCoska since my sophomore year, my ending sophomore year, and now I'm going to my senior year, so it's been a very nice journey.
School for the Environment is becoming really one of the premier, or if not the premier, coastal environmental sciences programs in the country. The natural laboratory is 5 minutes away for us. The undergraduates and the graduate students can jump on the T or walk out the door or drive 5 minutes and grab sediment samples and vegetation and talk to watershed associations. It's really a wonderful opportunity for our students here with this location.
UMass Boston shares the peninsula with the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate and the John F. Kennedy Library and Museum. Just imagine an internship with one of these organizations or a Fortune 500 company.
There's no location like UMass Boston.
It's so close to the Innovation District, the 4-Point Channel. You can just hop on the red line and get there.
I like the fact that Boston is near the water.
I was a legislative intern for Senator Elizabeth Warren in Washington, D.C. And I was there, you know, in the Senate. It made me feel good about myself. It made me feel like I could do so much more. You know, there's so much more out there and ahead of me.
After my internship at Ernst & Young this past summer, I was offered a full-time position to join their risk advisory practice, where I'll be doing part-time security consulting and part-time risk advisory consulting. And I never would have had this opportunity had it not been for UMass Boston.
Imagine what it will be like to interact with students from 150 countries.
You meet people from everywhere. That's the best thing about the school.
Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world.
We also have students here at UMass Boston who come to us from Texas, from Alabama, from Georgia, from California. And I often ask them, you know, like, what brings you here? And it's always Boston. And then when they come here, they realize UMass Boston.
I decided to come to UMass Boston from the West Coast because, I mean, look at it. We've got the ocean, it's beautiful. I'm getting a really great education at great value. I couldn't be happier to be here.
This is what the world looks like. It's here at UMass Boston.
And now, imagine doing all of this at a campus that is buzzing with more than 100 clubs and organizations, 18 NCAA athletic teams, and concerts and films galore. Whether you're interested in studying abroad or doing service work over alternative spring break, we have something for everyone.
Starting my first semester here, I was assistant coordinator of Casa Latina. Second semester, I was promoted to coordinate my own center, the Student Wellness Center.
Being on the track and field team here is the greatest decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston.
The UMass Boston Beacons baseball team, who went 23-15 this year and have consistently been a leader in their conference without having a home field to play on. That will change next season.
I am so happy and excited to join Boston College High School and your wonderful president to celebrate this symbol of our institution's friendship as well as our shared commitment to this special neighborhood. Not only are we thrilled to be building a new ballpark with our neighboring teams and for all of our neighboring teams, but we could not be happier to provide more space. It's not just for us, Father Monin, it's for the youth of Dorchester and South Boston to be able to play as well. So your field will be used by quite a few of us for so many wonderful things.
But my hope is that the sound of the band that's so irresistible to us at Fenway Park will echo through this field and will call further together the academic communities of BC High and of UMB, but especially that it will call together the youthful neighborhood communities of boys and girls who are awaiting it so eagerly.
I can't wait to put those shovels in the ground. Thank you.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to the Clark Athletic Center. You see the stats right there. Bridgewater State hitting a blistering 8 of 14 from distance. Good for 57.1%, 48% overall. The Beacon shot 44%, but just 2 of 8 from the three-point line. You see there's the real difference in this half. Bridgewater State scoring 24 points off threes. The Beacons just 6. The Beacons a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Bridgewater State 4 of 6. Close in rebounds. Bridgewater State 7 assists versus 9 turnovers. The Beacons 4 versus 10. Points in the paint 16 to 10 in favor of the Beacons. Second chance points 11 to 5 and bench points 16 to 5. But the only category that matters, Bridgewater State leading 40 to 33. Let's take a look at the team leaders. Sam Freeman and Iser Barnes have 9 points apiece for the Beacons, 7 from Dan Powers, 6 from Alex Sanchez. On the other side, Rocky DeAndrade leads all players. He's 4 of 6 from distance, 5 of 8 overall. He's got 14 points. Fawaz Mass has 11. The Beacons have just 3 players with 3 rebounds. On the other side, Greg Armanco's got 5 rebounds, 4 points, and 2 assists. The Beacons don't have a block. And Keon Armstrong leads all players with his 3 steals. Right now, we'll take a look around Beaconville. UMass Boston women's basketball dropped their 3rd straight game, a 77-68 loss to Bridgewater State. They trailed by as many as 25, cut it down to single digits late, and ended up losing by 9. Men's hockey back in action tomorrow night. We'll have that one for you on the Beacons Broadcast Network. 7 p.m. start. Women's hockey's at Johnston Wells on Saturday, part of all of our winter teams in action. There'll be a triple header here at home. Men's and women's basketball against Rhode Island College and men's hockey against New England College, all found on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Take a look around the rest of the conference. 3 other games in action tonight. Becker College nearly knocked off Keene State College, the reigning 2-time champion in the Little East Conference. Plymouth State leads Green Mountain College in a high-scoring affair at half. And Rhode Island College 66 points in the first half against Elm College. The Beacons will face Jason Harris's alma mater on Saturday here at home. Take a look ahead, and then we'll take a look at the highlights from that first half. UMass Boston will host Rhode Island College on Saturday at 3. They'll take on Plymouth State on Wednesday at 7:30 on the road, and then back at home to take on the reigning Little East Conference regular season champion, Eastern Connecticut State, next Saturday at 3 p.m. Right now, we have the highlights from the first half, and then we'll take a commercial break until the start of half number 2. Near side, Sanchez along 2. He's a bit too strong. Kirksey off the putback and easy top for DeAndre. Then he has a slew of assistants as there's a long 3 from DeAndre. Back battle, behind the back dribble. Over for Amonco, over the longer Freeman, drains it. Sam looking to drive in over the taller Ward, way too strong. Freeman the rebound, gets fouled and one. DeAndrade a deep three, drains it. Long three from DeAndrade, another one, he's got it. Mohamed out of Arlington, Mass. His 7th appearance, 29 total minutes. Around Ramat, go up top. Barnes looking for a triple straight away, gets it.
My name is Kirsten Morrison, aka Keeks. I'm a senior here at UMass. I'm in the Exercise Health Sciences program, and I play volleyball, basketball, and softball. You know, I came here for volleyball, and I chose between basketball and softball, and I went with basketball my freshman year to play, and it's always kind of been a thing that I wanted to do is play softball my senior year. And after talking with Coach Dagg, she was like, yeah, come on the team. And I was like, all right. And here I am playing 3 sports this year. Being a beacon, I don't even know if words can describe. You know, coming here as a freshman, I was a little nervous and scared. But, you know, I walked in these doors and they all had open arms. You know, they showed me the ropes. You know, the coaching staff, the athletic staff, the chancellor, the vice chancellors, everyone here is so welcoming. And I really can't stress enough about how much this is really a second family for me here at UMass. I'm at my 1,000 points this year. It's amazing. I don't even think words can describe how I feel about it. It's something I've always wanted to do my whole life, and doing it here with my teammates and the coaching staff here is just an unbelievable experience, and I'm so happy to be able to do that. I'm doing my internship this summer at the Quincy YMCA, and I really hope to be coaching in my future.
UMass Boston will go with Powers, Lee, Barnes, Freeman, and Kirksey to start the second half. A bit of a change with Powers in there for Dason Sinelli. Facing off against this 2-3 zone of Bridgewater State. Freeman in the corner, up top for Barnes, looking for his second three. Knocks it down. He's got a team high 12, and the Beacons are back within 4. Bridgewater State led by as many as 18 in that first half. The Beacons' largest lead was 4 early on. Got a long 2 there from Keon Armstrong to push the lead back to 6. Jason Harris's 2 points of emphasis. The Beacons need to show a little bit more heart and effort. They also need to limit the turnovers as Freeman can't handle that one, and it's into the hands of the Bears. Mass looking to go the whole way over Lee, can't finish, and Powers picks it up. Couple of Bridgewater State players on the bench very upset with the lack of a call there on Mass's drive. Powers all the way is blocked by Ramonko from behind. For Bridgewater State, it's the same starting 5. Ramonko, Soares, Mass, DeAndrade, and Armstrong. Inbound pass to Powers, able to get underneath of Mass and put that one in, and the deficit is 4 again. Mass looking to drive past Barnes, pushes it out for Ramonko as Mass slips to the ground. Near side for DeAndrade, and Armstrong will pull it out with 18 on the shot clock. from the wing. DeAndrade around the screen. Down low, wide open Soares. Freeman can't get the block, but gets enough to make Soares miss that. Lee nearly lost the dribble. Hands it off to Barnes and over to Powers, who's double teamed. Freeman calling for the ball at the elbow. Instead, it's Barnesville on the three-point line with 13 on the shot clock. Across for Kirksey, tipped out of bounds. And David Wahlberg, a former soccer player, showing off the hands there at the scorer's table, able to make the catch. For those of you who don't know, David Wahlberg, hard-working sports information director here at UMass Boston. Sam Freeman from the baseline. No good. Rebound loose. Picked up by Mass working against Kirksey. Fawaz, season opening. Has to pull it out. Ramonko looking for the three. Back rim no good. Soares tips it out to DeAndrade and a new 30. Already Bridgewater State has showed they've cooled down a little bit from distance. Soares out top. Armstrong trying his luck. He's short. Powers the rebound. Not running with numbers, and he'll slow it down. Giving it off for Lee. Lee over for Barnes, looking to go all the way. Hit an early three, can't finish. Ball loose, it's off of Armstrong. And they correctly give it to the Beacons there. A little bit of miscommunication between the referees talking about it, and they finally signal it's Beacons ball. Sinelli will replace Kirksey for UMass Boston. 17-18 left in the half. The Beacons trail by 4. Lee for Powers. Now Sinelli looking to drive. Hands it off to Freeman, who goes right into the body of Mass. It's a jump ball. Bridgewater State will grab it. The Beacons coach is immediately yelling at Sinelli. That's a chance you